Yeah. Hey. Woo. Wow. Let's go.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hey. Wake up.
First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Wake up.
In the morning.
Wake up, 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 wake up. Wake up, 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 wake up.
Wake up, wake up. Come on in, 7 a.m. if you believe in the concept of time. A fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to Gawd. We might be here by ourselves today, buddy.
Yeah, it look like folks sleeping in.
I don't blame them.
Got the itis.
I don't blame them one bit, one iota. Yes, it is Friday, the 28th of November. So appreciate you guys who are up coming on in this morning. And trust me, totally understand if you're sleeping in on your nice, cozy day this morning. Sean McCarthy's up though. He says, "Good morning, First Sky Nation. Thanks for doing this today. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, no problem.
Appreciate you coming in today. Good morning, First Sky family, and happy TGIF, everyone." Marlon Harrison. Okay. Hey. Brother RG is in the chat. Morning, y'all. What's happening? Two-play crew in the house. Two-play crew in the house.
Yeah. I'm
definitely
guessing there's more than two plays yesterday, though.
I'm definitely part of the two-play crew myself this week.
Hey.
Going down.
Yeah, being good.
Who's eating leftovers? What y'all do?
Yeah, what's happening? I still got some turkey I need to smother.
Gobble, gobble. It's going down.
Gang.
Winter weather advisory full effect. Yep. I know.
We got
to talk about it. Actually, there ain't much to talk about with this, man. We just got to make sure that we got, that we reiterate a few safety things for the weather change coming up, man. You know, we all got elderly folks in our family we need to check on, make sure the heat's working, make sure they can dig out if they have to. If it's only going to be an inch worth of snow today or tomorrow, I guess. But, the start of something is the start.
Yeah.
Season. Yeah, man. Michelle Moreno, good morning. Appreciate you guys coming on in this morning. Like I said, it's probably going to be a light show today just because, everybody's on vacation. And I don't blame anybody for sleeping in this morning. But I appreciate you guys who've gotten up this morning with us. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Let us know how your holiday went, if you celebrated, if you just got together with family, if you're ready for them kids to go back to school. Let us know how you feel.
I'm kind of wondering. Some people actually are back to work already today.
That's
so
true.
Let us know. Are you back to work? You sleeping in? How you doing this morning? What's going on with you?
Yeah. How you doing this morning, buddy?
Man, I'm all right. Feeling rested. Definitely got some sleep last night. Kind of woke up too early. Actually, I've been up. I've been up a little while, listening to the news and just working on a couple other things. But yeah, I'm feeling good. Definitely looking forward to today. Of course, we have a sister camera coming through later on today, so looking forward to that conversation. Of course, there's a lot to clear up, and some understanding that we hopefully will get from today's conversation. But beyond that, man, just feeling good. Yeah. Of course, looking forward to next year, having some good episodes. Can't believe we only have a handful of episodes left. Like six episodes left.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's coming up. Our winter break around the 15th of December is coming. As a matter of fact, let me see what the actual last day of the break is going to be. Friday the 12th. No, actually, we're going to come back Monday the 15th. So we will do Monday the 15th will be our last day of the season. It's been a space as the place season. That's what's going on. We take our break and then we come back January 14th, I believe it is, for our next season. So yeah, we got a lot of changes coming this next season as well. So definitely pay attention to what's going on there, and make sure that you hit us up on the website and also the weekly wrap. That's where we're gonna be throwing stuff throughout the time. Michelle Moreno,
how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing all right. I'm working today just like Michelle Moreno, so she got to go to work today. Also RG says worked yesterday, went to the gym over lunch, then went back to working again today.
Hey, working day
You're on the hamster wheel, brother.
Man,
you're on the hamster wheel. That's what's happening. Hitting that gym over lunch, though, that takes a lot. I'm proud that you continue to keep it up. You're inspiring me. I feel a New Year's resolution coming again.
man. Yeah, I'm about month and a half or so into my calisthenics journey, and I wobbling, but trying to stay on it, man. Trying to stay on it.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
It's
help is
hard to
well
do.
though. Help is well.
It's hard to
It
do
is hard to do. It is.
over the holidays, man. Especially because all this food floating around.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of which, let us know what y'all cooked up. Did y'all cook up anything? How'd it go? I didn't get no tamales yet. I know that somebody gonna get hurt
Hmm.
around. There must be some furniture moving around here. I'll get some tamales soon. Miss Erica Fell hit me up last night. Was like, hey, did you go around and get a bunch of plates from all over town? I was like, nah, I didn't hit it this time like I normally do. So
And
yeah,
do the tour.
do the tour. But hey, it's still early and ain't over this
Yeah,
weekend over
I'm
yet.
sure somebody got some leftovers they need some help with. Help my brother out. Help my brother out.
Poor single man out here just trying to survive. Let's jump into a few community updates that's going down, man. We got a lot of stuff happening. Of course, it is the weekend. It is Friday, so we try to make it a Love Supreme Friday and talk about what's going on as far as arts and stuff is concerned. First and foremost,
Mhm.
man, shout out to OEAA as our partner over there. You definitely should consider getting your tickets early for this. This is in February, but it's coming fast. It's coming fast. Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards. It's going down at the Admiral, the old Sokol Auditorium on 2234 South 13th Street. And yeah, we had a good time there last year, so it's a good venue to do this again, but it's limited space. So definitely get your tickets. Let's recognize and celebrate our local artists, musicians, and performers for sure, for sure. Also, coming up as well, a few things are happening as well. Anjali and Thomas are playing tonight for Black Friday at the Holland Music
Yeah.
Club. Lots going down
Man,
on the street that the Holland's at.
looking clean.
Man, man, come on. They get down. This is one of the hardest working bands in town, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. This is tonight. Actually, this is this evening at 7:00. Get your tickets. I kind of wanted to talk about this a little bit, or actually, maybe we'll have them on after the show and talk a little
Mm,
bit about what's going on because there's a little bit of controversy going on about this kind of pay to play situation that's been happening around town a little bit.
really?
So yeah, as soon as they start making the artists be responsible for selling a few tickets and stuff like that. I mean, I'm used to it from California, but a lot of people in Omaha ain't used to that type of structure.
Hmm. I
So
mean,
pay to play.
yeah, we'll have to get into it. That's interesting.
We will have to get into it. Also, our last show, of course, we talked about our brother Lavelle Wells. If you missed his conversation, you definitely need to go back and check that out. That brother's got a lot going on. But
Man,
of course, yeah, man. But of course, he has his big elk fundraiser coming up as well. I think RG appreciate you. I think you the one put this in the Friends of Space. This is happening on the 5th of December. This is going to be the Buffalo Chili Feed. So yeah, definitely remember to hit him up, save a couple bucks so you can donate to his cause. Keep the doors open over there at Big Elk. And this is happening on December 5th, and we'll get you the address and stuff a little later on the show, or you can check him out on Friends of First Sky Omaha. He's on Center Street over there, his office. So we'll definitely come back and give you some more information there. And of course, all of this will be in Friends of, and you can definitely check it there. So that's what's up. Oh, I'm seeing people coming on in yesterday. Marlon Harrison said yesterday I hung out with family, had me 5 plates.
okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, feel.
Man. RG said, "Come on, get that membership down at Bob's Beezy. Let me get past these. Let me get past these holidays first, bro. We'll see what's happening." Yeah, I'm on Marlon's tip right now. 5X. We're 5Xing it around here. Donnell
Man,
says just gives us a good morning. Appreciate that. Sean McCarthy says really hoping to finally have a job by next season, or really hoping to finally have a job by next season. Was one
man.
of many who was a victim of the AI driven tech layoffs. My heart goes out to all those who have been laid off this year. Man, was thinking about you, brother McCarthy. As a matter of fact, I was just thinking about you last night about some things that we got coming up. So I'll definitely give you a call. We'll talk. We'll talk a little bit more. Definitely want to utilize your skills while you got a little time off as well. And
Yeah, man.
yeah, I'm sure that you'll come out on top. I think people are starting to understand that a lot of jobs AI is not really taking over, but if you can utilize AI, you might be able to extend some things. But there's
Mhm.
a lot of fluctuations going on here in the market. So I feel you, and I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Heather Williams gives us a good morning, everyone. Appreciate you very much. Appreciate everybody that jumped up this morning. I didn't even really expect a whole lot of people today just because it is the holiday still and day after Turkey Day for a lot of folks.
Yeah,
But
what's that? The chemical in the turkey, the tryptophan. They say it put you to sleep.
and have you sleeping to the next day.
Yeah, man.
Wake up in the middle of the night. I gotta go to school. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm 30.
Oh, I'm 30. I graduated in 1990. Uh, also, New Year's Eve is coming up too. I don't know if you guys are planning on any New Year's Eve parties, but this one stuck out for me over at Noma. Man, I was at Noma the other night, as a
Man,
matter of fact, and they were like,
hey.
"You coming to this?" And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'll see what's happening. There's a couple things I might want to hit." And they were like, "Oh,
Mm.
okay." Then I looked at the flyer and I was like, "Wait, is that Big Wade?" Yeah, yeah.
All
Wait,
right.
is that Angelique? Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And Lacey Lamar is MCing. Okay, we'll see what's happening. Chad Stoner. So yeah, 2026 over at Noma New Year's Eve. It looks like it's going down. The two hardest working bands in town, Big Wade,
Man,
Black Swan Theory, and Angeline Timeless. Double
that's a
whammy.
show.
That's a show. And on top of that, and cherry on top is my man Chad Stoner. So come on with it. I think this might be the place to be, but there's some other places to be during New Year's Eve as well. House Saloon crew
Oh,
is doing a New Year's Eve celebration at the Benson Theater. So you want to check that out too. They just did a 50% discount on their tickets. So something else to check out, man. I think
get
like I
down.
said, yeah, there's some grown folks things to go to during New Year's Eve, which I'm happy about in a big way. So that's what's happening. Of course, I'm seeing as we drive down 24th Street, we see the lights and the decorations going up. Christmas in the Village is popping up. It's coming up December 6th from noon to 5. Everybody on the block is really chiming up and getting ready for this as well. Shout out to Empowerment Network. Shout out to OEDC too. They're big part of this as well. And also Douglas County, man. We don't give enough props to Douglas County. Douglas County, somebody over there really loves the arts, really sponsors
Mm.
things when it comes to the arts over there at Douglas County. So shout out to them. Yeah, we did a lot of work with them over at Benson Theater on a lot of programs and stuff too. So yeah, man, appreciate that very much. And this is a staple now, 15th annual. It's been going on 15 years, Christmas in the Village. So shout out to Empowerment Network. Shout out to the Deuce, 24th Street, rivaling other streets in town with the Christmas in the Village decorations.
Man,
So anyway, that's kind of what's going on now. We'll save a little bit more of that for a little later on in the show. More of the haps, and if you have any haps, being that this is the weekend, any plans, anything you got going on, let us know. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha, or put it in the chat as we speak about it now. But if you're gonna stay in, that's cool too. Let us know what you're watching on TV these days. I know I'm gonna be in catching up on some shows while this snow's coming, because
man.
Paul B don't like to be outside when it's cold like that.
Brr.
Yeah, not happening. Appreciate everybody coming in. I see Heather Williamson saying good morning, everyone. Thank you. Sean McCarthy said, feel free to reach out. Cool. Heather Williams said,
Sure.
I'm getting ready for work. Man,
See, told you, man. See,
y'all getting up going to work this morning. Okay.
hey, up with us. Hey,
Marlon Harrison says, good morning. I got another busy weekend. Tomorrow is the annual Omaha Battalion. Oh, okay. And my cousin is in the Battalion this year. That's what's up.
man, that's what's up, man. I was in the Botillion. It's a great time. Great time. I believe the illustrious brothers of Omega Sci-Fi put that together, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken. Yeah. Botillion's a great time. Great time.
Okay. That's what's up. I always thought it real bougie, but if y'all say it was cool, then it was cool. I trust y'all.
Yeah, I mean it's a reason to kind of, especially for kids who never had a tailored suit, or never had a reason hey, you're part of, you understand pinkies up, you understand getting
Yeah,
bougie sometimes.
I'm all about a bespoke suit. Yes, I am.
You know what I'm
For
saying? You
sure.
know what I'm saying? And yeah. And you
Sample
engage
set.
your community. Those involved in boating, you have to like raise money. It's
Cool.
like a competition it's like a fundraiser. Yeah, I mean it's cool, cool little situation, man, for
Okay.
those involved. Family gets to come out, see their babies, dress up nice, dance. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay. That's what's up. Glad to hear it. Glad
Yeah.
to hear it. Maybe we should do a little bit on that at some point, man, just to kind of for those of us that don't know much about that scene, it might be good to hear
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
say black folks is not a monolith.
There you
Got
go, Marlon.
a lot of stuff going on. What's Marlon saying?
No, I was just saying he gonna be there, maybe
Yeah,
ask some questions.
man on the street.
Yeah, do what you do.
Sean McCarthy says, shout out to Mark Manor and Homer's Record Store Day today. Thanks for reminding me. That's something I was looking for. And just totally
What?
forgot. record store today. He said we'll bring in some major crowds today for sure. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be tough because that frozen rain's coming about 3 o'clock. But yeah, there's a couple things he got on. If you haven't seen it, go to Friends of First Sky Omaha. Mark Manner, Chad Chimer, friend of First Sky Omaha, is kind of going through the record store finds, the record store albums that are going to be there for record store day to day. Get your collection right for real,
Man,
for real. Don't nobody go over there and buy that Dr. Dre Compton instrumentals though. That's mine. That's got my name on it. So
what?
if you see
On
that,
vinyl?
you see that, be like Paul B on vinyl, bro. Colored vinyl. Yep. Yep. Got to get it. And there's also Around the World in a Day Prince 7-inch box set that I got my eye on too. So yeah, I need to put it out there because if I come there and it's gone, I'll find you. I'm gonna find you. Give me my records. Let's go ahead and jump into what we're talking about here. Let's see who. Oh, RG says when I was younger, I thought a batillion was a numeric value.
$1 botillion.
Cost $1 botillion for that suit that you wearing to go to the botillion. Let me hold two. He said, "Let me hold $2 botillion." Oh, I'm using it. We still in there, RG, all day. That's, it's gonna be some First Sky Omaha slang.
Botillionaire.
Going down, man. What's going on for today? What's going on with today's thread? We do got some things we got to talk about. If you guys remember, we had Brianna Full on the recently, and of course, she's been posting in Friends of First Sky Omaha about some of the controversy going on the school board. She's trying to, yeah, man. She got a petition going on right now where she's trying to get all kids fed for free, lunch for free, and all school debt wiped out. And of course, we have to talk to some other members of the board, which is the reason why we're going to have Kimara Snipes on. We had already kind of set this up beforehand, but Kimara Snipes is coming on, and we can get further into the issue, figure out what's going on over there on the school board. Plus, she got some other stuff happening too, a event coming up, and we want to know what she's got going on with One Omaha. So get ready for her visit. She'll be here a little bit later in the show this time around. She's actually up on doing some meetings and doing some other stuff right now, like one of the hardest working women in the community for real. And so she'll be here a little later on in the show as she takes care of a little business this morning, and we'll talk to her about that. So get your questions ready for that. Other than that, what's on your mind today, buddy? What's today's thread?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a loose thread today. Be a little bit of everywhere on this Love Supreme Friday, but we're gonna touch on the stuff that matters, especially in this space is the place season, kicking off with more of the affirmative as we try to do. And something hitting close to home to heart for us as a couple of artists. Looks like this Tanaska Center for Arts Engagement is close to opening. An expansion on the Holland situation, just really at the other end of the Holland. If you've been kind of paying attention to some of the construction over there, looks like they have some pretty good programming. Want to talk about it, especially as a couple of artists, man. Some stuff for the babies. Yeah, all about it. Also, speaking of development, especially on the north side, man, the Port Authority. Shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on his name. Maybe we'll be able to get into this a little bit more on our Senator Cypher Monday. Actually, might be the last Senator Cypher Monday of the season, now that I think about it, man. So, yeah, gonna have to touch on this and more, but definitely want to talk about the Port Authority calling out, saying that they're withholding funds from, again, the entity that was created by Senator McKinney and former senator, actually, Justin Wayne, again, trying to control development and forward progression in North Omaha, specifically with the Omaha Inland Port Authority. Again, $11 million that they're saying is being withheld. So we'll dive into the details of that situation. And also, I think there's an event coming up. If we're not mistaken, we've been talking about the stakeholder briefing coming up. So if you want to learn personally more about what's going on with the Omaha Inland Port Authority, there's an opportunity to, again, have your voice heard, to hear the voices of others, and kind of see where the vision, where the future is with some of the developmental projects already planned, and how to get other ideas and projects off the ground through the Inland Port Authority. So, again, that's going down Tuesday, December 2nd. There's a registration link we'll be posting in the chat later on, so look out for that. And also, as Paul mentioned, we will be getting into some OPS things with Sister Kimara, not just the free lunch situation, but I'm kind of curious on this Omaha World Herald report on chronic absenteeism. Apparently, kids not even going to school. Wonder what's going on with that state of OPS altogether. Again, actually, Sister Kimara did share a link that gives some information from the Nebraska Department of Education. I kind of want to dive into that with the sister a little later on as well. Again, talking about education, what's going on with the babies, man, what's going on with the system altogether. Speaking of the system, we've been also, I personally have been talking about this call out, this goal that Governor Pillen had put around this Thanksgiving time. Again, 200 or so detainees in the Cornhusker McCook clink, however you want to call it. Again, where are we in that situation? Shout out to our partners at Flatwater Free Press. We're actually reporting on how this whole ICE situation is actually impacting our whole court system in general, especially in the Omaha area. Apparently, there's actually a backlog that's been building as a result from these cases being pushed through our court systems. And yeah, a lot going on with the ICE situation, but all that and more to talk about in the next 2 hours. Of course, it is a Love Supreme Friday, so try to get into a little bit of that later on as well. But we're here, to have the conversation with you. Again, thank you for joining us. I am kind of curious as also we had Brother Roach on earlier this week. Did anybody make it to the comedy show? Again, we had a legend come through, D.L. Hughley. Did anybody make it? Was it funny? Let me know. In the meantime, with 20 time Paul B, about 20 minutes in. A little behind, but it's all good, man. Keeping it loose on this Friday. How you doing?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We'll go ahead and take a quick break, come back in and jump in the conversation. I see Wanda Lewis in the chat giving us a good morning. Appreciate you, Wanda Lewis. And I appreciate all of you that are getting up with us. Everybody who's got to get up and go to work, as a matter of fact. That's yeah, man. Yeah, definitely feeling for you on this Friday morning. I'm also feeling for us as a city right now because that cold's about to hit us. That frozen rain is about to hit us a little later on in the day, and an inch of snow throughout the night tonight. So everybody's kind of getting ready for that. Get your cars ready, get your safety stuff ready. Put your blankets in the trunk, all that good stuff. We'll talk about it when we get back. Let's take a quick break and come on back through. I see Jay Hannah is in this chat giving us a good morning. Okay, good morning to you. Ariel's 402 says hit the like, make it hot. Hit that like button over there on YouTube if you will. Where you at in the world, Mayor Sanchez? What's going on with you? We'll talk about it. We'll get back in after the break and jump into the conversation. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All Beeee, buddy to God. All of you, Chad Chimers, ghost listeners. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Come back to us.
The life processes of bacteria are simple. We've already seen how bacteria obtain food. Now we will consider their reproduction, which takes place through simple division of the cells. In drawings, we can see that bacterium cells are continually growing. When a cell reaches maturity, it divides again. This goes on and on about every half hour, as long as the food supply holds out, or until some unfavorable condition slows down or stops their development. The reproduction rate of bacteria may be greatly affected by temperature. In a laboratory, the temperature can be controlled in an electric incubator. As Frank explains, there's always a temperature that's best for growing bacteria. Usually the temperature is about 30 to 37 degrees centigrade. 37 degrees centigrade is about equal to the normal human body temperature. In case the temperature is unfavorable, some bacteria...
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
Hey, in the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. What's going on with you?
Man, I don't know. I was liking that jam right there. We was talking about bacteria. What was they talking about?
They weren't talking about nothing.
What they talking about? They ain't talking about that. Johnny T's, huh?
What's going on?
Cornfred Negro, brother RG in the chat. He says, I didn't go to the D.L. Hughley show. I'm talking about the D.L. Hughley. Again, I put out the question before the break. Did anybody make it to D.L. Hughley earlier this week? Support brother Roach. Did you go out? He said he didn't go, but apparently D.L. went out to Johnny T's afterwards. So chilling with the people. That's what's up.
After party. Now I got to call Katie Rayner. But what happened to the after party call? See? Blooded. Man, yeah, it is what it is, though. I'm glad. I hope he had a good time out here, man, at the Grown Folks Club out there. Johnny T's. And I'm
I'm
sure,
glad we
you
got
know,
a spot.
right, right. He wanted, I mean, he wanted the Kangs, bro. I mean, one of the Kangs of comedy, DL Hughley, came to town, performed at one of our best venues, the Holland, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and then came down to the Deuce, came down to the hood, you know, came down to the. They came down to the north side as it should be, and I'm just glad we had a venue to have an after party for such a legend. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Johnny T's.
Man, some places, man, spaces and places. So yeah, if anybody else made it or if anybody was at Johnny, but I definitely agree, man. The Holland is a dope spot, man, and it's nice to have, you know, like the likes of Tim Clark and people tapping in with that situation.
Yeah,
I actually wanted to kind of dive into how Holland is expanding, if you
yeah,
will.
nice.
Yeah. Kind of start off. A lot of times we end on Love Supreme, but also want to start off with some Love Supreme on this Friday, and also, you know, kind of the affirmative of what I've been trying to set here on the show, starting with the idea of spaces and places, a story that's kind of highlighting what spaces and places look like, the types of spaces and places we would like to see in our community, and as a couple of artists. I'm here for it, man. The Tanaska Center for Arts and Engagement, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. The final piece being added to what's now being called the Dick and Mary Holland Campus. Again, it's not just the Holland Performing Arts Center, but now it's a full campus, including now this new wing of the building located between 11th and 12th Streets, borders Douglas and Dodge Streets. If you kind of, you know, been in that area around the new Jean Leahy Mall, have seen some of the construction has been shut down. Actually, a few lanes in a couple of areas surrounding the Holland has been shut down, and this is why. But some programs and some ideas and some things coming that I do also think will benefit the full community. The new wing or building, as they're calling it, will house performing arts based classes, workshops, and camps for all ages and experience levels. Some of those programs include the Disney musicals in schools, musical explorers, and the Nebraska Theater Academy, and also other activities. More space was required to serve these communities, programs, and efforts. That need led to the design and development of the Tanaska Center. So again, OPS has been some partners of ours for a while, and man, doing some good things, man. Of course, we just talked about having Anjali performing there tonight. Holland is going down, man.
Yeah,
Of course, you're a big fan of the Holland. What say you, man?
yeah, I am. I am a big fan of the Holland. You know, I come from a different city, and I always am looking at some of the things that goes on in this city that reminds me of stuff that goes on in bigger cities, and this is definitely one of them. This is what the construction site has been looking like. We, of course, are inundated with construction in this city right now.
Man,
Big time construction, like everywhere, all the time in the street. Not too far from this, across the street, of course, is the Mutual of Omaha building going up, which will be the tallest skyscraper. So this area is just all messed up, but it will be looking like something very special when it gets all said and done. I think this is a rendering, so you kind of can see what's going on with the Holland over on the left, and then this right next door. So there's a lot of historical buildings and stuff like that that kind of got tore down in this area, unfortunately. But you know, they're expanding this, and I feel like this. You know, some of the stuff that I saw, there was a video that I saw where there's several floors in here, several spaces. I'm sure there's going to be several places to be able to perform, to do art shows, and all kinds of stuff that's happening. So I would definitely love to talk to somebody about what the plan is for this particular space. With us talking about spaces and places and places to go, and just a thriving art scene. When I think about a spot like that, I think about like the Jocelyn being a world class museum.
new wing.
Heavy, big art scene here in a big way. Coneco, of course, Bemis, Union for Contemporary Art. All these are some major art spots, and it really kind of makes Omaha stand out, especially when it comes to visual arts and performance. So, at OPA, I think Omaha Performing Arts has been a huge contributor to that in a big way. My family just went and saw The Wiz on stage. Shout out to Amber Ruffin for Rewrite.
Yeah.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
First time they got to see the Orpheum, which is the original home of the OPA. So, you know, lots of stuff going on. When it comes to that kind of stuff, we got a really rich, diverse situation happening in town, man.
I'm glad you mentioned the Orpheum. I was driving by the legendary Fox Theater here in Atlanta. Of
Yeah,
course, man, it's a very storied venue. But just looking at it, like the Orpheum is up to par, man. Like the Orpheum is very similarly, built, same grand theater style, Orpheum style. The pillars, the like the architecture of it is it's a beautiful, beautiful space. And the inclusion of it, because the other side of spaces and places is making sure that everybody is included and welcome in these spaces and places, and as OPA is expanding, I'm expecting, not necessarily expecting, but hopeful, and I feel like this will be something that's welcome to everybody. I love what OPA has been doing with the Hip Hop Lab, some of the shows that they've been throwing. Very, very excited to see what this means just for arts, as you have said, in the community, man. So spaces and places, it's all about it.
yeah, really with it. Tisa Harden in the chat saying good morning, Kings. Appreciate you coming in this morning as well. And
Peace.
yeah, we if you're just joining us, we're kind of talking a little bit about this new space that's going to be built on the side of the Holland, and of course, earlier in the show we talked about a show that's happening there tonight. Let's see if I can find it again. Angeline and Timeless will be there at the Holland
Yeah.
Music Club, which I believe is the kind of, I think it was like the 1600 Club or something like that before. So
Hmm.
it's gonna be on the other side of the Holland. But yeah, they'll be playing for Black Friday tonight at 7 o'clock. I highly suggest you go check them out. This is one of the best bands in town. If you've never seen Angeline Timeless live, you're in for a real treat. And I love that they're going to be down here at the Holland, and they're going through, Omaha Performing Arts, doing this show for the people. So this is a local band, and I kind of feel like especially when you get a local band on the level that they are, and you can work in the best spaces in Omaha. It's a big deal. So this is happening tonight over there, 7 o'clock. The Highland Music Club. You can go to Omaha Performing Arts and get tickets for this, and definitely check that out. As a matter of fact, I think I got a ticket link in here. I can give you guys right now if you're thinking about going.
Yeah,
But yeah, I would definitely check it out.
man. Final bit of information on that new wing of the Holland campus, the Tanaska Center. It will be opening apparently March 19th, or actually March 22nd. There will be a ribbon cutting on March 19th at 10 a.m., followed by a weekend of celebratory events. Also planned is a free community open house March 22nd. And then apparently $108 million is the price tag attached to this. So, it's kind of following the money a little bit, but all here forward. And before we move on to the next topic, I do want to kind of set up for our major conversation later on with Sister Kimara, some of the conversation, some of the things that have been said on social media, friends of, in response to the free lunch situation, and thinking about this as far as institutions, and really looking at how institutions work together, and what role are we expecting these institutions to play to really, make life better for all of us, and how can they work interchangeably. Some people, as far as the free lunch conversation, some people are challenging whether or not it should be on teachers in schools to do that role. Some, as some for some of the programs with this, just again putting out the question and setting up for the conversation as far as entities, spaces, and places, what role they play, and what do we really expect from these spaces and places.
Interesting that you say that. There's also a article that got put in Friends of First Sky Omaha. Not an article, but somebody's post that used to work at the Luminarium, and they're challenging the Luminarium now. They're saying that that they kind of got rid of a lot of people of color over there, and there's a change of guard, and they're definitely sliding, moving past DEI. They're feeling that Trump effect about whether or not they're going to consider DEI. The culture is changing over there at the Luminarium, and it's interesting to read from a firsthand perspective, like what's going on over there as well. Kind of had me thinking of that too. We are always talking about stuff like OPA, Omaha Performing Arts. They built a lot of new spaces like the Holland, like the Steel House, and when the Steel House was getting built, I thought, here we go, it's going to be bunch of country music over there or something all the time. And it turns out that, I was able to see George Clinton and Cypress Hill and all kinds of stuff at the Steel House. So it's also, what the people demand, how it is that we engage as well. Whatever's going on over at the Luminarium, it could be a situation where if we're more involved, then, they have to swing that way. And I think that's a part of it. I think part of it has to do with our involvement, whether or not we're going to utilize these spaces. How often do we go to the Jocelyn? How often are we being part of these some of these shows and things that are happening? A lot of times I'll hit a show at the Coneco or something like that and don't see a lot of us over there. So these facilities and these things are there for us to engage in as well and be a part of as well. And I think that there's actually within these organizations that are putting on events and stuff like that is kind of like still feeling pretty diverse and pretty much like there's some opportunity there to be able to do what you need to do. So whether or not we engage and whether or not we demand that we be included, don't get me wrong. I don't think you got to go around demanding to be included in everything all the time, but I do think that people that are behind the scenes doing some of this work are doing pretty good in general when it comes to some of these big facilities, some of these big arts events facilities, and just performing arts and stuff in general. Like there's a lot out here that it could be worse. It was worse a few years back, as a matter of fact.
Really? Yeah. It was. It really was. Like talking about what Sister Kara Warner is doing with the poetry and the Nebraska Writers Collective, and there's a lot going on, man. It's a lot going on. So as far as the arts and love warriorship, if you will, love supreme warriorship, hey, it's a good time to get busy.
Really is. Appreciate that. Arrows 402 says, I want my taxes to subsidize my neighbor, not a war. I heard that.
I feel that.
If we go
J. Cole app.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The J. Cole app. J. Cole had a song that was like, why can't I just pick where I want my taxes to go, like on an app, like everything else? We got the technology. Why can't we do that? Of course we know. It's always going to be a fight about where your tax dollars go, and they're gonna make it a tough fight all the time. It would never make it easy enough for you to get on the phone and say, oh, let's put some tax money to food, let's put some tax money to housing. Nah, what kind of war machine would we have because most of the people I think would probably be like, let's put some more money to other stuff besides the army. So yeah, I feel you on that, man. But I will say, as a state, I lived in other states and other places where I didn't see. There's some states I saw more money going to arts and love supreme, and there's states that I was at that was less than what I'm seeing here in Omaha. And there's actually a lot going on in Omaha still. There's got a couple little entities out here that make our city position a little bit better than some other cities, and it's just all a matter of whether or not we want to take advantage of it.
There you go. But
we can be in these spaces too. We can be there too.
We definitely can. But I think you're right about the fights. It's not without its fight. Actually, there is a fight going on right now. Speaking of that, kind of moving along with the Port Authority, saying that the state is withholding funds, and they're fighting for their funds that they say they're owed rightfully by law. Again, shout out to Nebraska Examiner for reporting this. Cindy Gonzalez on the job as always, doing the work that she does, and also shout out to Senator Terrell McKinney, who's leading the charge in this, saying that this our progress. And when I say our progress, I do mean our progress, because again, this Inland Port Authority is governing development of North Omaha. A large area of North Omaha. Do you have that graphic just to kind of give people an idea of? Yeah, thank you. That's a big part of North Omaha, going up towards past 30th and Ames, all the way from Carter Lake, basically from past Lake Street all the way past the airport. Again, is a big part of North Omaha that could be developed, could be impacted, could be controlled, or really is controlled by this Inland Port Authority, and could definitely use the $11 million or so that they're saying the state is refusing to release. The Omaha Inland Port Authority, which again is authorized by state law and created by the city to promote economic development, specifically in Northeast Omaha, said it may have to turn to legal action if the funds are not released. Again, Senator McKinney, who helped champion the Port Authority legislation, said the HELDUP fund should be boosting programming in the roughly 3,000 acre Port Authority district, which includes both housing and entrepreneurial development. apparently there's a letter that's somewhat vague, according to the article. On October 20th, the Nebraska State Treasurer's Office sent a letter outlining a back and forth that began back actually in July. So this has been going on for several months, according to the letter. That was responding to a September 24th correspondence from, again, a back and forth between Senator McKinney and the state, basically saying that sufficiently vague that an immediate release of these funds to the Port Authority would not be prudent. Again, not really giving much of an answer, but saying that they're going to hold the funds. So again, here we are, kind of anticipated this fight. If you remember, this is why the Inland Port Authority was created, because we had this Recovery Act that was, again, millions and millions of dollars being directed to North, really hundreds of millions of dollars being directed to North and South Omaha, something that has never really been done in the state. And we saw kind of how that was handled, how the DED really wasn't prepared to facilitate that. There's a lot of questions about, how the projects were scored, and just a lot of confusion, a lot of questions around that, and to the point where, again, Senator Terrell McKinney and Justin Wayne felt the need to make it a completely other entity that controlled the funds, that they didn't have to rely on DED to, again, invest and spur economic development, which is the name of the department in Northeast Omaha. And here we are. Paul, what say you?
I think I don't have much to say about it at all, because we are getting the news that this is happening. So seeing as we are going to be speaking to Senator Terrell McKinney on Monday for one of the last Senator Cipher, we can definitely check in with him and see what's spurring this threat of legal action and everything else that's happening, like what actually is going on with the way that the funds are being handled. What do they have next? It's time to release the funds for the next stage of the project. What is that next stage? Why does the Department of Economic Development feel that they're not ready yet with that stage? So a few questions there that hopefully Senator McKinney can answer on Monday. We'll definitely talk about it. While we're at it too, there's also the meeting that's coming up, the stakeholders meeting that's happening, that's coming up as well. OIPA stakeholder briefing by Omaha Inland Port Authority at 4411 Florence Boulevard, Unit 1, from December 2nd from 10 a.m. to 11:30. This is a free event, but you do have to reserve your post there as well. So definitely check this out at Friends of First Sky Omaha and go ahead and check that out, because we definitely need to see what's happening with the keep up with it. So I'm glad that they have the Omaha Inland Port Authority. I'm glad that they have the brother running it. I'm glad they're having these regular meetings so we can kind of keep up what's going on as well. But we also have Senator Terrell McKinney that's going to be on Monday. We can speak to him directly and find out what's going on there. I just want to reiterate, like Buddy's saying, big swath of North Omaha and in general, a lot of big things that can happen here, a lot of things that can come from this. It's on its way. The money is here. It's not a debate anymore. The money has been, the money is earmarked for this, and we'd love to see some progress and see what's going on. So we'll check in with Senator McKinney and find out what's happening.
Yeah, let them tell it. There's no legal reason to withhold it. So definitely would like to see.
Them brothers went and got $400 billion to get this thing done.
Man, give us our botillions.
Give us our botillions. RG said the Recovery Act has been undermined.
Man, I mean,
what it feels like.
Yeah, just like the marijuana law has been undermined. I mean, it's just,
well, not just like it, but I mean, they trying to eliminate that situation. But when it comes to this Recovery Act, the money is there. It really will be legally, if they don't come up with that money, they'll be breaking the law if they do that. So, well,
they try to revert that money. Remember, they try to spend it on $600 million on the lake in between Omaha and Lincoln.
They tried, but the brothers, Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Justin Wayne, put some respect on their names. They made it so that money cannot go to anything else but North and South Omaha. So.
There you go.
It's a done deal. We're past asking for it. It's here.
Yeah.
They just need to hand it out. Wanda Lewis said existing Northeast Omaha should have sued years ago for funds that were diverted.
Man, I
It just might.
shout out to Chris Baby Boy Bowling. He did the whole disinvested series. Again, it's disinvested, meaning they intentionally did not invest in the community. Man, shout out to Baby Boy Bowling and the Reader. I think that actually that content is still up on the Reader's website, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. That's a heavy series. I definitely highly suggest you check that out for sure. We appreciate you at 7:44 right now. And if you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us, you're with First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. Do us a favor, share the show on your page. If you're on Facebook, share it on your page. It's pretty easy to do. Get as many folks knowing that this is happening as possible. And also, if you're on YouTube, share the link as well to any of your friends or family that you think might enjoy this conversation as well. Be able to add to it if you would. So yeah, we appreciate you guys getting up early this morning. It is still kind of holiday weekend for a lot of folks. But as we saw, a lot of our chat timers is getting up going to work this morning too. So so for everybody that is having to be up this morning going to work, take care of yourselves. It is supposed to be freezing rain happening by about 3:00, and it's supposed to go on through the night, snow through the night, be about an inch or two by in the morning. Anybody who's in Omaha already knows that day. The day that's getting ready to switch up, we already know what that feels like.
Man.
So everybody be rushing to the grocery store and stuff like that by noon, and trying to stock up because nobody want to move around. It's supposed to be slick too. When that freezing rain happens, people start slipping, sliding all over the roads. With all this construction around here, we bound to have some accidents. So please take care of yourselves and all that good stuff, man. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and jump into a little bit more of this conversation. And also, we're anticipating, if you're just joining us too, we're anticipating our special guest coming in. Miss Kimara Snipes is going to come through, talk a little bit about what's going on with the school board and some more things that she got going on with One Omaha, and an event of hers coming up as well. So we'll be talking about that and more after the break. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'll be buddy to God. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Needed that little funk boost right there. I needed that little boost.
Yeah, man. Yeah, funk me right up. Right on up.
Anybody gonna get funked up is gonna be you.
Hey.
Marlon Harrison says, hopefully this will bring a lot of construction jobs to North and South Omaha, and hopefully they hire people from the community. Yeah. That is the hope. That is the reason for it existing. Port Authority existing on this side of town is exactly that. Exactly for that. Brother RG said them bald tires that be on the road on a regular don't help. It's gonna be slippy slimy today, bro.
Hey, I was actually gonna say before the break, it's supposed to be a blackout, man. So you ain't supposed to be going anywhere anyway. Just hey, stay at home, keep your coin in your pocket, stay off them icy roads.
Go on, eat them leftovers.
Right, eat them leftovers. Watch some Netflix or whatever, or maybe not Netflix.
Everybody on Netflix today, bro.
Yeah.
Stranger Things. I've been going hard on Better Call Saul again. That's my show.
Really, I got hip to a show Marty Marr on, brother Martin Lawrence on Tubi, called Damascus. Yeah, called Damascus. Pretty interesting show.
Damascus with Martin Lawrence.
Well, Martin Lawrence, he played the OG uncle.
That is incredible. I haven't heard about this show.
Check it out.
What are y'all watching over here over your break, over the weekend, over your time off? Yeah, what are y'all catching up on? What are y'all doing? I know a lot of friends of mine are on that Stranger Things. right
I've
now,
been seeing
new season.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What you
I got a bunch of kids, man. I'm looking at this new Wicked that's coming out. Wicked for Good. Yeah, 2 daughters, man.
all about it,
Tell
huh?
me, they gonna tell me all about it.
That's what's up. I was
Hey,
thinking about who was
anything to get them off of Demon Hunters. I'll tell you that much,
man. Well, that's a phenomenon, ain't it?
man.
Demon Hunters. Yeah. What are y'all watching, man? I love to talk about that a little bit too. My aunt started a page on Facebook that was like, shows that we're watching and serials that what are you watching? I think is the name of the page, and it's interesting to go in sometimes and kind of see what people are into, and they get to discussing certain shows and talking about stuff that got taken off the air that should have been more than one season. You know what I'm saying? Like Lovecraft Country and all these other good shows that got
Man,
canceled.
I miss Lovecraft.
Yeah, man. There's a few things I had to go definitely check out. Heather Williams is saying check out All Her Fault on Peacock. Really good. Okay. That's what's up.
Okay.
That's some new recommendations for sure.
Yeah.
Also, there's go ahead.
I was just gonna say for all the Tarantino fans, I just heard that they're doing Kill Bill and in its entirety. Like they're playing that all the way through, all
The,
3 parts.
the whole bloody story, I think it's called or something
Yes,
like
sir.
that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Also, there was one that I started watching called The Lowdown, I believe it is on F.
Oh man.
Killer Mike is in that.
Yeah, it's about a citizen journalist, man. Yeah, man, I gotta get back on that, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll just warn you, buddy. Don't get too happy. They didn't really feature him as much as they needed to.
Oh, Killer Mike.
Killer Mike, yeah, and,
Yeah, I know.
just the character of like him being a citizen journalist. They didn't show nothing. They didn't really,
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I know.
But I will say, Ethan Hawke, who's the star of the show, is the person that is pretty much the citizen journalist. So the whole show really is just it's a trip because it is about like what kind of trouble you can get yourself into when you try to uncover the truth, especially about
News
like
gang.
rich families in town and all that. News gang for sure.
News gang. Yeah, actually, it's supposed to be based on a true story too. Cat out of Tulsa.
RG, I didn't know that. True story. I'll have to come back to that.
Yeah.
RG, you just gave man's the biggest compliment that you can ever give me.
Yeah, he giving it to you.
If a track of mine sound like something off the Prince Musicology album, bro, appreciate
Funky.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Also, Marlon Harrison is reminding us about this blackout by saying, don't forget to support your locally owned businesses this weekend. We put out a challenge, man. We got to get down to the Afro-American bookstore and pick something out. Maybe something on H. Rap Brown or something like that since he just passed. Definitely go check that out. Also, gifts and things you can get down there as well. Say again?
I said it is Friday. You put the challenge out, for Friday and see who's able to make it down there.
That's right. I forgot I put a deadline on it. Anybody make it down this week? Anybody take the bus down? Yeah, today could be the day. I definitely need to go down and check more out myself. It is going to get cold today a little later on, but watch yourself. But yeah, if you can get down there, please do. This is the blackout we've been talking about right now. It's been happening. It started the day before. It started Tuesday, didn't it?
Yeah, I believe Tuesday. Yep, the 25th.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, thank you, Heather Williams. I appreciate that. I was wondering where that was at. High Horse, also on Peacock. That's Jordan Peele's documentary about black cowboys. Yes. High Horse.
I heard about that. Yeah, man, that's dope. That's dope.
Appreciate that. Yep. But yeah, definitely check that out. Blackout's happening if you can. I guess you can stand. What are the rules here that we just don't hit big box stores and so on? Just try to disinvest from capitalism altogether if you can for a few days. I
mean, it's all about being intentional about how we're spending our dollars. I even went as far as to look up stores political donations and things like that before going into them. Again, to each his own.
Do what you got.
Don't have to go right. You don't have to go that far. But I think the idea is again to imagine new systems and ways to not have to rely on these mega corporations who are doing things like Ariel's 402 said, taking our hard-earned dollars that we spend with them and doing things like invest in ICE and invest in Israel and
Spotify.
Yeah.
Highly encourage y'all to get off of Spotify. Yeah. on
Yeah, yes.
top of Jack and artists. Now they invested in Ice.
Man, yes. I mean, speaking of funky, that's not funky. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't funky at all. Ain't funky at all.
Man,
Yeah, and also I think another part of this too was like if you can call off work or not go to work, do that too. Of course, not a lot of people can, but that was part of the thing as well. Just as kind of a disinvestment in capital in the capitalist structure here and disrupting some things. And it was supposed to go on to December 2nd. This whole blackout, so that you can make a real disruption this week. So that's the plan, and of course they keep on stressing: do what you can do, don't hurt yourself too bad over it. But it does get your mind going on. Okay, what local businesses can I go to? What black owned businesses can I frequent? If I gotta buy something, how can I do that? How can I go without it? How can I figure out how to go without it, or how can I figure out an alternative way to get it?
man.
I was at Walmart the other day. I had to go to Walmart the other day, bro. People in the family wanted them Patty LaBelle pies, bro.
Oh, you did it, huh? The Waltons don't need no more of your money, man. They don't need no more.
Patty ain't getting no money from them pies. She got a check, and then everything after that is their profit. And I'll try to explain it, but if the fan want what the fan want, bro, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. I'm not gonna go to Walmart and buy no Patty LaBelle pie, but if the fam wants it, and I'm on grocery duty for the fam dinner, I'll do what I got to do. But yes, I was in there thinking to myself, like, part of the reason why we do what we do is convenience. Like it really made it really super hard for people to be able to shop and do what you have to do. It's a whole trip to go to the grocery store. It's a whole event. I see people in there with 3-4 kids they got to take with them because what else can they do? They can't get a babysitter to go to the grocery store. But you know what I'm saying? Like it's it hit me at the store like how crazy the system is. I don't know why. I think maybe it's because I lived in Rome for a minute. A certain part of Rome was me just being able to walk down the street and get fresh fish, fresh bread, some fresh veggies, and then head right back home on the way home. You know what I'm saying? Like there was something about there's something about our tendency to have to stock up. And this is another thing too that I've only really experienced in Omaha since I've been here because in California we don't have basements, but in Omaha there's basements, which means there's big freezers down there, which means that we doubling and tripling up on stuff. And I can't blame nobody. It seems to be the strategy, especially if in the wintertime, if you gotta deal with going out in the snow to go to the store and all that too. It's just a thing, bro. And like I also I'm here. One of the reasons why I'm here is because I got elderly family in town, and to see how hard it is for them to get to the store and deal with the store, deal with driving over to the store, getting in bad weather, getting to the store, dealing with just everything, man. Just like it's just it's crazy how it can be a trip. And so the first thing that we always gravitate to is like convenience. So what does that mean? That means that we ain't thinking about Walmart contributing to the ballroom at the White House I mean, like those are all such high level thoughts. Like how do you, okay, yeah, they're doing that, but I got to go down and get this hamburger today for these kids. You know what I'm saying? Like how do you
I'm with you on that. Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I was thinking the same thing actually as I was walking into Kroger to pick up this cake mix or whatever I had to pick up. Again, I had to or at least try to do some due diligence and look up, where is Kroger and political advertise or political investment and things like that. And from what I was able to find, their top political investment was to Kamala Harris. So I was like, okay, okay, I'm going to Kroger feeling guilt free. But at the same time, that's not too much to say about the CEO of Kroger and their personal dealings or the average everyday people that was walking into Kroger with me. Like to your point, convenience, and that is why I've been making it a point to bring this up throughout this week. This being supposed to be the week, and here we are on this day, quote unquote Black Friday. Trillions of dollars being spent across the nation just on today, just because it's being advertised as the day to spend. Like it's a consumerism holiday. That's all it is. But if we were intentional about our spending, this could easily be in a single day one of the largest transfers of wealth in this country. if we wanted it to be.
Man,
How many millionaires could be made just today if we were intentional?
man, that's heavy. I didn't even think about it being Black Friday today.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've been bringing it up all week. That's why I've been bringing it. And of course, on Monday, we got Cyber Monday. So, many people who have stores,
Yeah. And I had all these plans, these notes to reiterate about how much of a ripoff it is. None of these people are really lowering any prices on Black Friday or Cyber Monday. It's all scam, and again, it's just a day they're designated for you to spend. And trust me, they're capitalizing on what you're spending. They're not losing no money on that. So this is definitely one of the reasons why the blackout is happening at this particular point in time. Makes sense. But yeah, this whole idea that we do everything because of convenience, and what the killer is that it ain't even convenient. It's not only not convenient, but it's expensive to do anything when it comes to anything that we got to consume, and we got to consume everything. There's no trade, there's no barter, there's no growing crops in your front yard anymore. There's no I just met one dude that hunts and fishes, like there's no self-sustainability. We all depend on all these things. We depend on this huge industry. And then we're in a season right now, like where did Ariel's 402, he says, in order for Americans to decolonize Thanksgiving, he got me thinking about Thanksgiving, Christmas. That's the other part of this as well. There's part of this blackout. People were talking about shutting down the holidays as well.
Just all together.
That touches deep for people, because it's tradition. We got to have traditions. That's how human beings work. And if your mama and your grandmama and everybody before you was doing Christmas, hard not to do Christmas, hard not to do Thanksgiving. Very hard. There's people I know don't even celebrate Thanksgiving, still do the big turkey and the stuffing around that time because we get ready for it. But again, I'm looking at the store. I'm walking through the store and I'm looking at they got it all laid out for you. Patty LaBelle pies on a pallet next to the door because there's so many pies ready to go out for this.
Oh yeah, it's a part of the rotation.
Part of the rotation. In order to decolonize Thanksgiving, the celebration has to change to a family dinner at a Chinese restaurant and then a movie. You're trying to give some alternatives here to this whole thing. Also, Wanda Lewis says, and why call it Black Friday? That's a good question. That is a very good question. Why is it Black Friday?
It's a thought.
It is a thought. This is the only Black Friday I'm about right here. This Black Friday, Angeline and Timeless tonight. Omaha Performing Arts is having it at the Holland Music Club, 7:00. Definitely get your tickets. Angeline and Timeless, get down. If you haven't seen them live, this will be a beautiful space to go see them at over there at the Holland Music Club. Check them out. Go to omahaperformingarts.com to get your tickets. It's 8:00 right now. 8:02, as a matter of fact. You believe in the concept of time. You're now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
What you think, buddy? Go to a quick break and we come back.
Yes, sir.
We're anticipating our special guest a little later on in the show. Kimara Snipes is going to join us, talk a little bit more about school board situation and a few other things. So if you are with us now, please stick around because she will be with us shortly. In the meantime, between time, we'll definitely take a quick break and we'll come right back, jump back into this conversation. We appreciate you guys hanging with us this morning. I know some of y'all going to work, some of y'all sleeping in, and some of you guys are here with us right now. So we appreciate it. Stay tuned. Be right back. Welcome back. For Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All B, buddy to God. Let us know how your holiday was, man. You guys eat something good. Let us know what was on the menu this week. Spend some time with fam. I was heard a couple people walking down the street screaming and hollering last night. Kind of looked around, looked out the window. Yes. You don't never talk to me. There's family drama going on. I was like, yep, it's Thanksgiving.
After the drinks then flowed,
the cousins went on the weed. Cousins went on the weed walk and got into an argument. Appreciate you guys coming back this hour, man. Also, Marlon Harrison says Saturday is Local Business Saturday. Okay, where you were supposed to support locally owned business? I forgot about that. Yeah, Black Friday, Local Business Saturday, Cyber Monday.
It's a thing.
Yep. Stuart Knight said, "Glad I don't celebrate the holidays." Me too, bro. I'm glad I don't either. I'm glad. Not with it. Not with none of it. Also, he says, "In economic in the black signifies profit." There you go.
Yeah. A few people came back with that. Ariel's 402 also saying, as a business, you don't want to operate it in the red. You want to operate in the black.
There you go. Sue Kessler Hagen in the chat. Good morning. Says it used to be called that many businesses would be able to pull themselves into
the black.
Right. Got it. Historically, it also was the day slaves were sold at auction on what would become New York Stock Exchange. Oof.
There you go.
Also, RG says the weed walker are tapped into the liquor cooler. Your favorite cousins and them, you know. But
but aside from the families coming together, man, it seems like there's a lot of charity giveaways, a lot of turkey giveaways, a lot of work on that end as well. So if anybody was able to partake in that or benefit from it, let us know about that as well. So shout out to those who are part of those efforts going on in the city.
Big time, man. Shout out to our partners at Heart Ministry Center, biggest food bank around. I know that it chimed up for them this week in a big way as well. Also, shout out to Willie Hamilton, Black Men United.
Man,
their food bank chimed up as well. So many people, had to take advantage. I drove by a couple times just to see, how many people was out there. A lot of folks needed some help this time around. Food is expensive, so and I definitely saw that in the grocery stores too. A couple times I had to go to the grocery store for the family. I was looking around like, well, usually you see some aisles empty, some things emptied out. No, there's plenty of stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of people out there. It's pretty packed.
I didn't see it. That's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't that packed. And there was a lot of food still on the shelves, bro. I think the grocery stores out here was hurting myself. Because I was going during the times where I was like, man, I got to go to the store right now, bro. I'm not looking for it. There's going to be 1 million people in the store right now. Nope. There was not a lot of folks in the store, and there was not a lot of sold out stuff, just shelves full. So
I wonder. It's interesting. People struggling?
That's what I think it is. That's what I think it is. Yeah, man. For sure. I think it's a real thing that we're going through this crisis right now with being able to buy, being able to buy food, and it throws everything off. Even throws how the stores buy. There's a lot of small mom and pops in the neighborhood stores shut down all around the country because they couldn't because SNAP benefits didn't just affect the people who got them. It affects the stores that depend on that customer base.
Yeah. Which actually we haven't really talked about it, but at this point definitely is relevant as far as the Lexington meatpacking plant that just closed and the impact that might have, on food supply chains, and just ag in general. It seems like, Nebraska has had a rough year when it comes to agriculture, not just the Lexington plant closing, but also I think a big grain elevator just closed or like went bankrupt or something like that. That impacted a lot of agricultural situations. So yeah, again, as far as food, and we'll be talking about that with Sister Kimara, the other end of it, making sure that the babies and the families can eat. But just looking at the full supply chain, just looking at the whole situation from a total perspective, it man, it's struggling all the way around, from the producers to the consumers, to the people selling and buying in the middle. So
Definitely.
yeah, definitely have to keep looking at it.
Before we move on here, Ariel's 402 in the chat says the cousin walk, a true story. I asked the kids last night if they needed to take the cousin walk. That's what's up. Also, Marlon Harrison says traffic is going to be light around 10:30 because the Nebraska and Iowa games start around 11. Okay. Yep. It's interesting to note all these things, and that's how it goes. So yeah, we appreciate everybody's information here, and definitely look out for each other when it comes to all of this. And we'd like to know if you were able to take advantage of any of the help, of the mutual aid help that was going on around town for everybody. Love to know about it for sure. 8:10 right now, if you believe in the concept of time, and we got a special guest waiting in the wings. I think we're going to go ahead and bring her in since she's in a little early today. Appreciate it. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, Kimara Snipes in the house. Good morning.
Paul wasn't getting my text messages. I was like, I'm trying to figure out how to use my headphones.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was on the show.
I'm at the coffee shop. I'm not spending any money, but I'm at the coffee shop.
Okay.
It's me out and walking, so.
Are you participating in the blackout, or how you feeling about all that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I've been participating pretty much all week. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey.
Outside of going to the grocery store, I had to do that. I don't have any black grocery stores, so yeah. But I have supported black business, though.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Man. We got to eat.
Huh?
Go ahead, buddy.
I just said we got to eat. That's all.
Yeah. For sure.
Has it been hard for you to do the blackout? Has it been tough?
Not really. First of all, like supporting, I was just thinking about this morning. I was like, I got to get my snow removal stuff going. And I was thinking, I was like, almost everything I do myself, I try to use somebody who is a black person, if not a brown person. I mean, and maybe people think that's shady, but that's just how I operate. And even like during the week, God blesses me to make some money. So I try to make sure I hit up Jackson's, Big Mama's, me and my homegirl Shani, we every week going somewhere. Sunday after church, we go in the Jackson's or the Willie Barney's thing. So it makes me feel good to be able to do that. I also recognize the gaps, though. There's so many spaces where we don't like. I'm excited about Marcy talking about that pizza shop. I'm like, come on with the pizza shop. So I have some place else to go. I mean, I love Jackson's. I love supporting, right? And so it'd be nice to have more options. You definitely see the gaps, especially with the grocery store. And I love my people down there. It's funny, the store they opened down there next door to Fairdale, those are the same people who own the store over south by Southside Terrace. So I know them, been knowing them for years, and they're African. Good people, you know what I'm saying? But it's still like that store was like, it's a lot of liquor. It's a lot of blunt wraps that get left in my yard when everybody done with them. My friend's nephew was killed in that parking lot. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want it to become a space like that, and people did fight against it. The Jackson twins, they don't sell any alcohol in their spot because they're against bringing alcohol into the community that they grew up in. I mean, I've been knowing Antoine Bershon since fourth grade. So like we go back and we talk about these things. But anyway, I'm just.
That's interesting. I was in Jackson's last week, and it was I was thinking about that. I was talking to somebody there that has meetings there, a coach that has meetings at Jackson, bring the babies in, and kind of on this tip of really trying to help the kids out, even going beyond coaching, just being there for kids. And they have a regular meeting over there. So I didn't realize that Jackson's was hosting stuff like that, and that had that kind of vibe over there, because the last time we was in there with Fair Deal, there was liquor behind the bar. You know what I mean?
Well, so, I know I did an event with them for Omaha Days a couple of years, and like there was alcohol for that, but generally, like as a restaurant, when you go in there, you can't buy any alcohol.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. But before they owned it, when it was the
before, yeah.
It's a different vibe in there now, for sure. Yeah,
absolutely. Yep, and I respect it. There's another gentleman, and I forget what his name. He's part of the Divine Nine, I think at Alpha. He holds a men's meeting there every, I think, second Saturday or something like that.
Right.
just men getting together, and they bring different people in to talk about different topics or whatever. He's asked me to come in and talk about One Omaha. So there's some other things going on too. Unfortunately, well, anyway, yeah, a lot of problems.
Yeah, there is, and you're right. I like the fact that we have that and we can support that. I wish there was more things to support. Shout out to Preston Love is going to have a coffee shop in the visitor center. I'm sure we'll be hitting
Yeah.
that up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Julian Young who's got scooters on 30th and Ames. So there's some other spaces and places that we can try to frequent. But I would love to see more, especially restaurants and stuff like that, open around the Deuce area for sure. So
Yeah.
shout out to Idle Vital too, who's open over there. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Mother Love came into Jackson's on Sunday, and she said, Preston told me to tell you he got your table ready. So I'm ready for the coffee shop to be open. Other options. I don't just have to go to Scooters all the time. And
Yeah,
so,
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
me
Yeah,
too.
we need it. Spaces and places. Speaking of that, actually, let's go ahead and jump in. I know you have an event coming up at a space place, and you want to talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. And I appreciate that space as a place because as we talk about asset-based community development, these
Yep.
physical spaces are places where like great things can happen. And so we're actually going to be at the venue at the Highlander on Tuesday, December 2nd, which is also Giving Tuesday. We are giving away a total of $10,000 to 10 different resident-led projects right here in Omaha. We have our mini grant program, which opened up in September of last year, closed in October. And this mini grant process is really designed to help people kind of practice writing grants, get comfortable and familiar with it. Kind of like I'm not going to say an easy win because we have a rubric that we use, but it's just, again, getting people activated in their communities because we firmly believe through asset-based community development that people can come together and co-create their own solutions. They can do things on their own as well. And these mini grants give people the opportunity to set projects off. So we have 10 different groups. Can't remember all of them right now, but I do know that this year our applications and the people who were awarded, it was a more diverse sort of projects that were chosen when I first got to One Omaha. And there's definitely place for, I talk about this all the time, community gardens, right? But this time we have stuff around environmental justice, just different ideas that people came up with. And so we're excited. We'll be at the venue. We also got a $5,000 match. And so any money that we raise that night will be matched up to $5,000. And so all of that money goes towards our mini grant program. And I'm just excited about that, to put money in. My first time writing a grant was through One Omaha. They taught me how to do that. And so to see people doing this and these wins and how these wins, you see how it impacts them and gives them kind of this energy and this encouragement. You know what I'm saying? I look at myself now and I mean, in the last, I'll say, last 3 months, I never considered myself a fundraiser or a grant writer. And I've raised a significant amount to do projects that we're going to be doing next year, which we'll be kicking off at the beginning of the year as well. So there's so much happening and so much good stuff happening. I almost feel bad like bragging about it because in this nonprofit space, it's really hectic for people right now. It's really hectic, but I'm telling you, we've been working our what's off over here at One Omaha, for sure. Even this week I'm supposed to, well, we ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of good things happening. Yeah. So Tuesday, December 2nd, 6:00 p.m. at the venue at the Highlander. Come join us. That's Jay. You can't see Whitney on there. That's our board president right there. One of the coolest people I know. We also have great relationship with our board, which is not always the thing with nonprofits. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Living, growing, and grounding together. I love it. I love it.
very nice. You've been doing some good. You've been doing some good work. I'm really proud of the work that you've been doing over there. You kind of turned that organization around, and it's thriving, and you got things popping. And I love. I want to go too because I want the people who win. It's really interesting to see their ideas, what they wanted to do the mini grants for. Because they're all over the place. So I'd love to talk to them. What you doing? You over here reading the chat like you ain't supposed to be?
No, I'm not reading any chat. I'm just making sure I don't have a bunch of windows open because you was like going in and out. I'm like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah. Close your windows there for sure.
Internet be internet.
Over here, like anxiety, giving me anxiety trying to close all these windows.
Man,
Yeah.
y'all
You
can't
can
quit
open
coming
the
up.
tabs back up. You can open them back up later.
You trading anxiety for anxiety because then you get on here all choppy on the show. So yeah, you gotta check it out. Let's close them down. Appreciate all the work that you've been doing there, and I can't wait for this event to happen and pop off. I was very surprised, about by hearing about a lot of the work that you've been doing, the money you've been raising, and it sounds like you enjoying raising money too, which is different. A lot of people don't like writing grants and then dealing.
Yeah, I will absolutely. All hell.
No, we hear you.
We can hear you good.
You hear me?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yep,
Oops.
yep, yep.
So no, it's interesting that you say that because I mentioned how the Empowerment Network had this lady, Anna Barber.
Mm-hmm.
And she worked with 25 Black-led nonprofits. And I'm always skeptical of anything at first, especially people come from out of town and want to show you things. I'm like, we got people here. But it was phenomenal. It was so phenomenal. And it was a whole lot of work. It was a lot of work. Can y'all still hear me?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. It was a lot of work, but it
Yep.
helped One
Yeah, you
Omaha
good.
create
You
a
good.
case. Okay. It helped us create a case for support. That's what she did, which sounds probably small, but that case for support is everything. And
Mm-hmm.
we had to do a 5-minute pitch contest at the end of it, which One Omaha definitely came out on top in that. And it was interesting because people in that room who were already familiar with One Omaha were like, wow, I learned things that I never knew. So the ability to take the work that you do and package it in a way that can build impact in 5 minutes or less, mind you, is so
Mm-hmm.
powerful. And I walked away from that with a meeting actually with Frank Hayes. And he was like, that was he didn't say dope, but that's basically what he was saying. And he wrote One Omaha a check, which is how we're able to do this $10,000, right? And
Wow.
so cases for support are powerful. And I tell anybody, and now, and pretty much everything I do, even in the political world, right? When I think about somebody as a candidate or even myself, I'm like, what is my case for support? You know what I'm saying? What are people
Mm-hmm.
investing in me if they do give me money? What am I investing in somebody else? You know what I'm saying? So that case for support really, 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 really helped us. And it makes it easy for me to walk into a space and talk about this really great organization. I'm telling the truth and I'm telling it quick and it feels good to tell it. And it feels even better when people are like, wow, like this is amazing. And having talks with our funders too and them being very, funders is interesting. A lot of them are just very, very like straight up with you. I'm just gonna tell you what it is. And I've
Mm-hmm.
had to tell me like, Kimmer, like you came into some stuff, right? And that ain't always the words that they use. And I'm not gonna lie, like this first 2.5 years has been um not always the greatest, straight up. And not having been in this position before, not being formally educated for it, having to figure a lot of things out on my own, which means a lot of research. A lot of research I've been doing just to try to do what I can in this space. And so I'm so grateful to be in a space where I don't feel like we're thriving yet, but I definitely feel like we are on the path to it. And I know when Omaha is going to do great things. I just know it. And, Alex and I, it's crazy. We almost finish each other's sentences. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
that's also a really beautiful relationship. And it you can tell, and it's into the work. So
Just before
Definitely.
we move on to the next topic, just give people a little bit of rundown who don't know who what One Omaha is. Just give them a little bit of a description.
absolutely. So, One Omaha, we're a nonprofit. We've been in existence for 10 years. Our mission is to empower people where they live. We do that through our public participation programming and our capacity building programming. We just built out an advisory board, which I'll be announcing soon, full of people from East Omaha. We have our mini grant program, which I talked about a little bit earlier. We have our fiscal sponsorship program, and we do that for free for the Mayor's Neighborhood Grant, for the Omaha Community Foundation Neighborhood Grant. If your project aligns with our mission and it's another type of grant, we'll also do that at a cost. But if it's anything with neighborhoods, we do that completely free. We're bringing back our historic programming, which is our Neighborhood Leadership Academy, which I'm also a product of. I'm very excited about that. We're in the midst of really designing what that's going to look like based on what's happening now in the world. We're also bringing back our historic neighborhood needs assessment, which will happen next year, be going on over the year with a heavy focus on North and South Omaha. One Omaha did this historically every 5 years. This time it's going to be a lot bit more intentional. A lot more thought put into the design of it as well, which I'm meeting with stakeholders about that too. Right now, I'm in the midst of outreach to our public sector stakeholders, neighborhood leaders, and all of that, just trying to bring them into this programming, which is another reason why I created the advisory board. We're going to be creating a youth advisory board too. So if anybody wants to sit down and talk to me about One Omaha, just reach out. Information's on the website. My personal cell phone number is also on the school board website. I'm not going to give it out right here, but I try to make myself as available as possible. And I love to talk One Omaha, so we can talk about that all day long. So, yeah.
And a good way to do that too is to show up at this event, and you can talk in person a little bit. Neighborhood Power Night, giving, growing, and grounding together. Tuesday, December 2nd, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the venue at Highlander. Definitely check it out, man. I can't wait for the mini grant awards giving Tuesday celebration that's happening here. Yeah.
What's is just oneomaha.com? Is that the website?
OneOmaha.org. And the one is spelled out.
So reinvention. There you go. Or reinvention in the chat asking where can we follow One Omaha or apply for a grant?
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're on all of those platforms. I'm in the process of trying to hire a communications manager. I've narrowed it down from like 108 applicants. And so my hope is to also like be on TikTok and just all the things, you know what I'm saying? Especially as we talk about communicating with all types of people, right? So yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, and actually, I put out the question earlier, and kind of want to use that to segue into the larger conversation. But as far as entities, and what entities, organizations, what role they play in our community, whether it's the museum, some of the art institutions popping up, the nonprofits are in the community, and as a director of One Omaha, somebody who works on needs, somebody who looks at some of the, as you mentioned, assets that are in the community. You actually might be uniquely equipped to have this conversation. And I to be transparent, I do want to put it against the backdrop of the larger conversation of the free lunch debate or conversation that's going on with OPS. And there's some conversation. Shout out to those who are already having the conversation, leaving comments, and friends of First Sky Omaha. A few chat chimers in that conversation. Some had mentioned, questioning whether or not OPS has played the role, and just again the larger conversation of what institutions or roles do you believe institutions play as a collective? Are there certain institutions we should be leaning on to kind of solve some of these needs in the community? I know it's a broad question, but just get your thoughts.
I mean, are we talking about now just the free reduced lunch issue?
I think we're talking about institutions in general. How much should we be leaning on these things? In the concept of in the context of that conversation, with Love Felicia, especially in the chat, in the Friends of First Sky Omaha, had some comments about how much we should be leaning on the school on schools for a lot of projects, and how much we should be leaning on churches. How much should we be leaning on nonprofits, just organizations in general first.
I mean, so it's interesting. When we talk about strengths, right? Connectedness is my number 5. It used to be my number 1. So in my mind, it's like all of this is connected. When I was on school board during COVID, I realized during that time how heavily like community relies on Omaha public schools, right? I mean, they were filling in gaps that I just thought, as somebody who went and volunteered, was trying to help where I could, I was just kind of taken aback and really amazed. I think that this is a conversation where we need to have it collectively. I think we rely on all of us. I mean, I'm thinking about but trying to have a conversation about just some of the things that I've been seeing happening in the country, in other parts of the world, in the state. And as I have been thinking about having these conversations, my mind has been like, okay, who do I bring to the table to have these conversations? And so in my mind, it's been
Mm.
somebody who understands the health community. It's been somebody who understands the need for access to food, right? It's somebody who understands public safety. It's somebody who understands the education system. It's somebody who understands legalities of things, right? So, like a lawyer or something. And so, I think it's a thing of like all of these institutions. That's what they are here for.
Hmm.
So that's
Hmm.
what I think about that. I think that when it comes to Omaha Public Schools, I personally, and I say this all the time, I think that there are spaces where we need to be looping in other people into some of these conversations, depending on what is the issue. I don't like the word problem, issue that it is that we're talking about. And I say problems versus issues when I think from an organizing mindset, right? And that's what I mean by problems versus issues. And so, uh, and we, I mean, so I kind of want to jump into like the free reduced lunch
Mm.
issue,
Go
right?
ahead.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, you answered the
and
question.
say that again.
So you answered the question, basically
Oh,
saying we need all the institutions and
yeah,
everybody plays a role
for
in
sure.
making sure we can all
That's
thrive.
what I think. That's what I think. And
Okay.
from those institutions, you have to make sure that you have the right person from the institution at that table. Somebody who can
Stakeholder.
think, somebody who can ask questions, somebody who will ask questions. People get to these tables and don't say nothing,
Mm.
or they don't know what they're talking about. And I'm not talking about anybody in general. Just make sure you have the right people when you pull these people together.
Hmm. Yeah, I
And
feel that.
sometimes that's even a gift in itself, is being able to identify the right people. So
All right. Just let me let people know real quick. It's 8:31 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're just joining us with Kimara Snipes. She's on the school board. There's been a lot of talk about things going on at the school board. We had Brianna Full on last week. If you missed that interview, then please go back and check that out on YouTube. She's been putting an idea out, what she call it,
Proposal.
a proposal out, yeah, about free lunch, and the issue is, should all kids at school have free lunch? Also, should they get their lunch debt wiped clean as well? And she's on the board too, and so she's been talking to board members, and apparently it seems like the board members are there's some communication situations going on there with the board. We've been approaching this situation where we know that everybody on the board wants kids to eat. That's not really the issue. So from your perspective, what's been going on with the conversations around her proposal, and what are the conversations that you've been having? If you could share some of them.
right. So and thank you for saying that, because before I got into the politics of anything, that's what I was going to elevate. I don't want any kid at all in OPS sitting in any class hungry. Just period. Full stop. I think the question is whether we care about kids eating, not whether we care about kids eating. I think it's more so how we just find a solution that, and this is what I've explained to Bree a few times. It has to be legal. It has to be sustainable, and it actually has to help like the families who need it the most. And so there's been a lot of conversation online about this food resolution and like why the board didn't move forward with it. So I just want to walk through like what's like really, really real. First of all, every student in OPS, no matter, and I just want to break down some facts, no matter what school it is, every student in OPS gets free breakfast. Um, Almost every student in OPS has free lunch. Omaha Public Schools was designated as what's called a CEP district. Um, don't ask me what CEP mean right now. I can't think of it. Yeah, anyway, CEP district, which is a federal designation that meant that every school, regardless of how many students could qualify for free reduced lunch, got it. Okay, back in May, we found out that CEP designation was going away.
Hmm.
We talked about it. Matt Ray told us. He let us know And so as board members, we could ask the questions we needed to ask and all of those things. And so it went down to about 60 schools who were going to be CEP. The district actually worked it out to where, so some of our schools, like more than 100% of students qualify, if that makes sense. So they did this sort of grouping thing to make it where maybe some other schools, or maybe only 45% qualified, could then also be raised up to be able to qualify. So instead of like 60 schools qualifying for CEP, we have 75. But that's because OPS went in there and did some maneuvering to get it there, which leaves us with 21 schools that do not qualify. Um, Again, we've known about this since May. We're able to ask all the questions we wanted to, and what we learned was that if there is a student inside one of these 21 schools that is not eating, they can get with their social worker, fill out the application, let's get them free reduced lunch. Okay?
Hmm.
So my thing with the resolution the way it stands now is one, feeding all students in OPS, which at the surface level, of course, sounds very wonderful. My thing is, and most of these schools are in Jeannie Magnuson's district, who is also on the board, who was initially in agreement with this resolution. Um, I'm not going to take resources and use them for children whose parents can clearly afford to pay for their lunch. It's not going to do that when we can use those resources someplace else. At the time when the first post was made, we also were aware of this $30 to $60 million shortfall, right? So in my
Mhm.
mind, I'm looking at the resolution, which again sounds really great, but it's only from, it only lasts about 2 months. Part of that time, these kids are going to be out of school. I'm thinking about sustainability, like going forward. So it's just not anything that was sustainable. And again, we are getting no reports about kids not eating. Now, Bree did say that she knew of kids who were not. We're still trying to identify who those are, right? We have not been shown any children who are not eating. Jeannie is not receiving any reports that kids are not, but you know, if there are kids falling through the cracks, the conversation we had just this, today is what, Friday? Just Wednesday, all of us met. Um, Bree did not stay on that call, but we came out of that. There are 6,007 students within these 21 schools who do not qualify for free reduced lunch. How do we look for these students to identify anyone who may be slipping through the cracks? And so the idea actually started from Matt, and because it's tricky how to do that, right? So let's get with the food nutritionists at the schools. Let's get with the social workers. Let's ask the lunch aides, the paras. I also suggested like the school nurse, who can maybe identify if there are children slipping through the cracks. But there's just none that we know of. And when this started, it actually, Senator McKinney sent an email out to state senators, city council, county commission, school board members as well. And he sent out an email about the SNAP issue, right? So the thing that I've been
I
trying to
remember.
clarify to people, and Debris as well, who again, she's coming, like her intent is super positive, right? What I have tried to ask and explain is, well, let me go to Senator McKinney first. Senator McKinney sent this email out, and immediately, which I get it, she jumped right on it, right? But what I'm trying to explain is the SNAP issue, definitely an issue. That is definitely a community large issue. Within the confines of Omaha Public Schools, though, it was not. Because again, our students are getting fed at school. So I think, Buddy, this is where that conversation comes in. It's like, how are communities like supporting, right? Because again, that SNAP issue, definitely an issue in the community, right? And some of our kids are going home into these spaces where there are issues in the home because of SNAP. It's just, it's not something that was happening inside of Omaha Public Schools, if that makes sense. Now, the school lunch debt, she wants that taken care of. Currently, right now, at the end of the year, it's kind of like with the state budget where they have to have like this zero balance. So OPS ends up taking care of that anyway. And right now, if a student does not like pay for their lunch. There are no students who are not graduating. There are no students who are having their transcripts withheld. And I know that Bree mentioned that she had talked to a principal. Well, our board secretary reached out to that principal, and the principal even said that they misspoke, you know what I'm saying? And that is not the case. And so, again, like if people are hearing of these issues, I want to know about it, right? Because the first thing I'm going to do is take that to Matt Ray to figure that out. But we just don't see like any evidence of that happening. And so, my suggestion was, because it's not true that no suggestions were offered. Anytime that we've had these conversations, I've offered suggestions. The very first resolution that she created, I met with Bree one-on-one after that post was made, and it was my idea to meet one-on-one. Let's sit down and have a discussion, right? And my goal of that meeting was to, one, understand what her goals are. What does she want for the children in OPS? To definitely talk about what happened publicly, because we need to, right? We're still a board of people working together, so we need to have that discussion and to figure out how to move forward. My suggestion was, when you want to create a resolution, especially if you've never done one before, which she hadn't, and we live and we learn, how do we work together first, right? That way we can ask the questions we need to ask, do our due diligence so we can present something that can be voted on, and does have support from other people. But when we don't take that time, we end up kind of going through this, right? Now people start asking questions. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, I got questions about this. And people need time to process. And unfortunately, that first resolution was just kind of sprung on us. We had no input whatsoever. And, she sent it to us, and I had like 1,000 questions from the very first one. And so met with her one-on-one. It was a decent meeting, didn't go like the greatest, but still had our meeting. Bree wants what she wants, and I get it. And sometimes, going back to gifts, I think about people who are like maximizers and things like that, right? Who want something to happen right away. And I get that. That's not the way my brain works, because I need to figure out what's going on. And so we ended up having another meeting with her, Jane and I. I think some of this is communication. I spent a lot of time during that meeting just kind of like, okay, so what I hear this person saying is this, right? And maybe when you read this in an email, maybe you took that the wrong way. So maybe going forward for all of us, if there is a question that we have, and we're just, before we make like any assumptions, maybe just pick up a phone and call each other, because we're still a board. We still have to make decisions together, and we still have to work together. So I'm just trying to get us to that space. Didn't really in the greatest either. And we had a meeting this week. Again, I think that Bree means really, really well. It's just that it's not anything that we could have sustainably done, just, continuing to, I don't think that we should be paying for students who can afford it. That's just what I'm saying. And if a kid needs help, then they can get the support that they need. And if there are children who are not getting support, then we need to know that, so we can identify them and get them the support that we need. But again, these 21 schools, majority of them are in Jeannie's district, and Jeannie will tell you the one person that contacted her was a parent whose kids don't qualify and also don't need to. He just happened to see this situation on the news, and so he wanted to make sure that kids are eating, but he didn't really know. But I'm also going to say this before I close out. I appreciate people like Leo Lewis, what I'm saying, who reached out to me, and we were able to talk. He was able to have conversations with Bree as well. And I appreciate that, because he called me and we were able to talk, and he was able to figure out what's going on. I had to call some people, and some of them were elected officials. And I had to say, look, if anybody should understand the need to get context and to gather facts first before we start making opinions on social media, it should probably be you. And I ain't gonna say no names, but I did have to call some elected officials. It really bothers me when people who are in seats where they are making decisions, right, are making decisions without gathering facts. And if you did that with this situation with me, where else are you doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me very nervous for people to be in positions and to make judgments without doing their due diligence. And I've seen that a couple of times in this whole situation. And I think that is something that has bothered me probably more than anything. Because I take my role as an elected official very, very serious. When I see people out here making decisions, and yeah, it's judgments about me, and you ain't talked to me, that's a major red flag. And I don't care if you're a Democrat or a Republican. So
And
I'm
when
just
you
say that, and I'm gonna put that out there.
you're talking about, you're saying elected officials,
Yes,
you're talking
popping
about.
on my page, making comments to me and haven't even talked to me. They're just going off of like what they have seen, and I'm just like, huh, okay. But I'm Kimara Snipes. I'm gonna bring it to you. So it's okay, let's have a chat, right? Because I
What
still love these people, but it's like, come on, we have to do better. We
what
have to
what
do better.
what are the things they were saying on your page that made you?
Oh, you just need to go ahead and feed the kids already.
Okay, that's
Come
okay.
on,
That's the stuff I've seen.
come on.
Okay, so
Yeah, which is
and just to clarify about that, you because you're kind of giving us a little bit of information there about what decisions have to be made. You say that it has to be that the decision has to be legal. We got to think about budget zeroing out in the end. Also, you don't think that you particularly feel like if the families can afford it, then they should go ahead and pay for the kids' lunch, and
Yes,
then you can use those resources elsewhere instead of just giving everybody free. So you have a different idea about how this works, but it all is supposed to equal kids getting fed in the first place,
absolutely.
and making sure. Okay, so just so I can move on here real quick. There's Brianna Full is in the chat. She said, "Morning. I forwarded over I'm losing my 5 children whose parents emailed me about their struggle with accessing free and reduced lunch. There definitely been some reports of students not eating. For every one child struggling, I know there are 10 more right behind them."
Well, then send them to me. Give me something that
Okay.
I can then take to somebody.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to find out about. So the system that is in place right now in the school is that if a kid is in trouble eating, then he has to go to a counselor, and then tell that counselor that, and then the school board will arrange for him to get free lunch. Is that how this is that the system now, or is that just everybody looking out for the kids, or is
I mean,
there
they
something in
have
place?
enrollment for the students, right? To sign up. And something that I suggested to Matt Ray was I said, when we're having, especially in these 21 schools, I said, when we're having like these open houses and these different things like that, can there be a place where students can get help specifically with lunch applications, have the support they need there to be able to support them through that process so that we can try to, because what I heard during the meeting that we had this week was our board secretary was telling us that they had a student whose family, from my understanding, wasn't aware that they qualified for free reduced lunch, so they got them set up. And the turnaround time, if they set them up, I asked this, within that school is right away. So you sign up and then automatically eligible. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else.
Okay,
Forgot the
well,
question.
so
go ahead, Ben.
well, yeah. To Paul's point, like who starts that process to even get the application filled out? If a student is it caseworkers already looking at if students are eating every day, or does a student themselves have to speak up like, hey, I'm not
I don't think there's a caseworker that's sitting there to see if
right?
students eat every day. So again, it's like, how do we identify? So that's why we're having the conversation about talking with the lunch aides and the people who work in the kitchen and the social workers and the nurses, so we can see if we can identify if there are kids who are not eating. Because right now we don't have any information outside of what Bree has said here, and I would just love to just get that to me so I can look at it, and Matt Ray, but we don't have that information. You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
Um,
but here's what I think of a lot of people are wondering about. So because it, even I'm looking at the chat too, it's even feeling like a little bit of like there's a lot of hoops that people got to go through. So the information that we got from Bree when she was on the show was that when COVID hit, everything went to universal free lunch to everybody for a period of time that ended recently, right?
in May.
In May. Okay, so now that it's ended, now we're back to having to do things like look at the budget. We're having to interject that the resources can be spent somewhere else if families can't afford it. Because why can't we just go back to the easy thing of just having everybody get it for free?
It was a
Why would
federal designation, so that was not our choice. That went away in May, and so
yeah,
now there's costs involved, right? And
cost
so
it?
So
again, we
When you
have
say
known about this since May.
when you say federal, that means you're saying federal money was helping that system out
Absolutely,
before. Now it's not,
okay,
and now there's
yeah,
other
absolutely,
costs involved. Okay, got it.
absolutely.
Okay.
And
and you're saying those
again,
costs aren't
like,
sustainable.
huh?
You're saying those costs aren't sustainable for OPS.
I'm saying
Because
that out of these 21 schools and these 6,007 students, if their parents can afford to pay for their lunch, right? These schools like in West Omaha, if these parents can afford to pay for their lunch, then let them pay for their kids' lunch because that's resources that can be used elsewhere in schools that really need. That's all I'm saying. Like
Hmm.
if your parents are making like enough money to pay for your lunch, then I think that pay for your kids' lunch. Like Nick Thielen, who's on the board with me, right? He gets flagged for not having put money on his kid's card, right? He can afford to pay for the lunch though, and he should pay for his kid's lunch if he can.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
and
so that's what
I
I was
don't think,
missing. But
yeah, I don't think. First of all, to backtrack, I think one, this, I'm glad we're having this conversation on this platform. I do think that this is the types of conversations that First Sky Omaha is made for. I do think that there's some personal kind of things, just how people are being framed in this. I'm sure, pretty sure you don't appreciate, being framed as somebody who, wouldn't like for kids to eat, which we know is not true. But this is a conversation that we all should be figuring out together because it goes to the bigger conversation of who's responsible for these things. And this is not going to go away. We haven't really talked about the government shutdown, but the can has really been kicked down the road as far as SNAP and budget on the federal level. SNAP and budget conversations are going to come back around January 30th. Um, so again, families are going to be struggling to eat, and and whether or not that should fall on the schools, not sure. But from what I'm hearing from Bree is saying that she's not necessarily concerned about the families that can afford the food,
Right,
and really it's the cliff effect that I'm hearing. It's this
right.
this this idea of the cliff effect where again some families do qualify for free and reduced lunch, but there seems to not be a system to identify the families who are in the cliff effect who necessarily don't qualify but can't afford the
So
food.
and again, like the intent behind the resolution is to help families who are in that middle space, right? We're calling it cliff effect,
Right.
that middle space, and they don't qualify for free reduced lunch on paper, but they're still struggling. That's where I was with my own child when he was in school, and that's a real concern, and I share that concern. I think that no, the resolution that Bree bought for it or drafted, it tried to solve that in a way that, based on my understanding, right, kind of cut across these federal rules, state realities, and our own budget. And and again, like it was built before we had all the facts. We're talking about, so the National School Lunch Program and CEP, which I think is like community eligibility provision, I think, right? That comes with conditions. You have eligibility rules, you have CEP rules, you have reimbursement and claiming rules, and that's just at the federal level, right? Even at the state, I know we were talking about a universal meals program. Nebraska does not have that, and I know she sent some examples of other states who have done that. But Nebraska is its own state. There's state cost estimates, for universal meals. I know that there's a state center who's working on that, but I think that what I saw was just, tens of millions of dollars per year statewide. OPS just lost a big chunk of state aid. So, we're expected to be down anywhere from 30 to 60. I know 30 next year. in state funding. It's like that's a massive hit. So trying to be mindful of all these different things while also trying to make this decision when we know, at least based on the information that we get, that students are eating. Now, again, if there's somebody slipping through the cracks, that's what Matt and I and Jane were talking about just Wednesday. Like, how do we identify those?
Mm-hmm.
And we're working on that right now because, again, there are 6,007 students within these 21 schools who do not qualify for free or reduced lunch. So which one of those like may be slipping through the cracks? One of the things that Bree brought up, which makes sense, is like, just the amount of we're talking about resources spent on even trying to do that investigation. She was talking about how much money that was cost, and she didn't really want to have to put the district through that, which I get. But again, like if we try to identify who these students are, then we want to know, and I think that that's something that should get done. And so Matt is in the process of that right now. I know that. Well, I don't even know if he's at work today, but we talked about it Wednesday. And so Mr. Wakefield, who is our director of operations, he was in that meeting as well. So trying to work again to identify whoever these students are. But again, like if you have some students who are directly impacted and they are not eating, please send them to me because again, I don't want any kids up in anybody's classroom hungry.
Right.
Yeah. As somebody who personally also dealt with free and reduced lunch growing up, just remembering back, the cliff effect is real.
Yep.
I personally think that I will go on a limb and say that there are kids who aren't eating. And I would urge. I understand now why you're saying Bree's resolution may not have worked, especially now learning that over the years while OPS has been paying, those are federal dollars that pay for that. And not getting into the closing of the Department of Education on the federal level, or the frequent conversations about the funding formulas for public schools at the state level. Like just funding schools in general is a whole nother conversation, which I'm sure you're dealing with. But I think for the purpose of this conversation, feeding people, it seems like one, there is a fact that, let's just go on a limb, say kids aren't eating, falling in this gray area, and it sounds like you're currently in the process of figuring that out, but don't have it figured out
And
right
I have
yet.
some other ideas as well that I already gave them at Ray too. Um, so one of the things when the board secretary talked about that student who just needed to like fill out the application, that said a lot to me. And so in my mind, I feel like there's opportunity to expand that CEP wherever possible. So I told Matt, let's review these 21 schools aggressively, right? And can we look for new groupings maybe in the data or whatever to qualify more of them? Because if that one student didn't know, how many else don't, right? Which is where the idea came up from with enrollment, setting up something special so that families have this opportunity to go and just find out, right? Find a way to expand that CEP. Something else that I think that we should be doing is,
Mhm.
one of the things that Brie also brought up was Lincoln Public Schools. Well, it wasn't Lincoln Public Schools who did it. It was actually the Lincoln Public School Foundation, right? Which is a separate organization. So Omaha Public Schools has a foundation as well. So what type of conversations are we having with them? Can we have like a lunch access bridge fund, right, for these 21 schools and these students whose families don't qualify, right? What if we work with philanthropy or something to again create this bridge fund? And this also goes back to the conversation of how are we working with our partners and people in
Mhm.
the community? We live in the city with all this philanthropy. You know what I'm saying? Council Bluffs, that was brought up too. Council Bluffs is still federally designated as a CEP district. We talk about resolutions, and I know it may sound really simple, but the thought of formalizing like no child goes hungry, like in policy. I think we need better data and communication, and also just as far as reducing barriers, like some sort of plan around that, like improving communication. I think it's very important around the lunch applications. I think adding
Hmm.
staff or volunteers to help families complete that form. I even suggested to Matt Ray like some sort of like lunch access hotline, like during enrollment season or something. Like short term sort of like seasonal sort of support so families don't fall through those cracks. And something else I haven't mentioned to him yet because I want to do a little bit more research is like something I saw about was like automatically like pre-filling applications like wherever that's possible. But so these were some of the ideas that I talked with Matt Ray about. But open to all sorts of ideas as well. I don't know everything, but
So I want to go ahead and wrap this up because we're getting towards the end of the show here. Um, you got something, buddy? Buddy,
Yeah, I
you
was
there?
just and yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, just wondering, thinking about the application process and looking at the chat. Brief Fool saying there are unfortunately barriers to applying for free and reduced lunch, and there's too much discrepancy across schools about how they're handling the school lunch debt. So many hoops to jump through, and just thinking about that process in itself, and how many if families are even filling that out. I'm wondering about families that might not even want the school to know their financial situation or might be skeptical about filling that type of stuff out, and you're just wondering how where the gaps really are, and like you're saying, getting the facts on what the real situation is on where families really are and who's really
and how
falling
do we
through the
get
crack
those,
more than just
right?
enough. Right. How do you find and identify those people,
And
those
I think
cases?
that right, and I think that first idea of, and it's an idea, right, of talking to these different people and staff who are better connected with these kids every day, like they
Hmm.
may have an idea. And so that's like the first place we're just kind of starting because again, like how do you really identify? And so yeah.
So, like I said, I wanted to go ahead and kind of wrap this up. I appreciate your comments, Brother Pena. I think we have your point, and I appreciate you coming on, Miss Fool. She's also going to be on the show on Wednesday to continue this conversation, and we'll get into it. The things I just kind of wanted to take away right now. I think I am feeling a little bit like a lot of people are feeling like this is there's a lot of nuance here. There's a lot of hoops to have to jump through. Unfortunately, we got to play that game because of some situations that you're making clear to us now that's happening. Federal funding is getting taken away, got taken away here. We're in a different category. We got to deal with budgets. We got to deal with shortfalls. We got to deal with taking funds and making sure that they go other places. It would be easier if it was just universal lunch for everybody. That would be great. If Michaela Cavanaugh, I believe Senator Cavanaugh, put some respect on her name, is going to try to make some legislation happen for that. If that happens and it makes it so that there's universal lunch for everyone, then there won't be so much that has to be considered and hoops that have to get jumped through. I really don't like the idea of families and kids having to fill out applications for stuff for that type of stuff either. It does feel like there's a lot of hoops and things that have to jump through. But I will say I appreciate you doing the due diligence and the research on a lot of on those things that have to be considered. It's I'm sure that you get frustrated looking at all that data and having to consider all these things as well because you just want babies to eat as well. So like hopefully if some legislation changes and some things or something else changes to where it can be that you don't have to take so many things in consideration and go through so much application process in order to get kids lunch, then that would be ideal overall. But since we're not in that situation right now, I appreciate the fact that you're coming up with other ideas, doing the research, and so on and so forth. Before we and like I said, I kind of wanted to wrap this up, and I'm trying to wrap this up in my own brain about what it is that I figured out and learned today, and hearing from you and expressing that right now, so that I can ask you, am I getting it? Is that kind of where we're at? Is that kind of what you're relaying as far as information is concerned on this situation, as far as the conversations that you have to have because of the situation we're in with us not being designated anymore, with federal funds going away and so on and so forth? Does it feel like I'm missing anything else when it comes to one of the reasons why we have to come up with new other ideas beyond the ideas that are being presented on this?
I think so. I don't know. He kind of broke up, so you said a lot right there, and I'm
Yeah.
also processing some stuff myself. So
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll come back to that question another time then, maybe. Uh, like I said, I'm just trying. I'm understanding that there's
It's like
oh,
going in and out, like you're freezing up.
yeah, that's you with them 5011 windows you got open there. You got
I close my windows. Don't do me.
you closed your windows.
Uh,
I'm proud of you.
Sure did. Don't do me.
I'm proud of you. Okay. Yeah, we have a little internet difficulties. It's probably just the weather. But anyway, I just wanted, like I said, we wanted to wrap up because we're at the end of the show, and just wanted to reiterate that there's some other things that we have to consider. I'm learning from you some other things we got to consider right now because of the financial situation. Other nuances there for that. It's unfortunate that we got to. There's a lot of hoops to have to jump through. Kids doing, kids filling out applications and parents and so on. Uh, but there's nothing we can do about that now, and this is the reason why you have these other ideas of what we can do to make it a little easier and still take care of people. So, everybody wants the same thing in the end. Let me ask you this question: if Michaela Kavanaugh passes something for universal, then a lot of stuff that you had to research and go through and figure out will be irrelevant at that point, right? They'll just everybody will just get it free, and that's cool with everybody. If that
no,
can be
no,
the
no.
case.
Yep.
Okay, okay. Um,
Yep. But it sounds like as it stands right now, just paying for everybody is not quite a feasible option right now as far as where OPS's finances stand. But it is being handled on a case by case basis, and you're in the process of trying to figure out how to identify those cases.
Yeah.
There
And
you go.
yeah, and I want to know, and I'm sure Jeannie wants to know again because most of those schools are in her sub district. We want to know. Yeah.
Okay, so is there? You said reach out to you directly. So again, just full takeaway from anybody listening to this, any conversation. So we can feel like our audience is informed. Just individually, if there is someone who is struggling or feel like they are struggling with access to free lunch, there were a few people who chimed up and said, I think Rhea Vincent in the chat said that they received a letter saying that schools are paying for lunch, so they're confused. Should they reach out to you directly? Is there a line that they should reach out to? Yep, Rhea Vincent in the chat said we got a letter saying we had to pay for our kids' lunch, but when we tried, they said all of OPS gives free lunch regardless. So I'm lost. Are we talking about outside of OPS? And no, we're talking about OPS. But again, this is a case of somebody who is a parent in OPS receiving correspondence from OPS and saying they are confused. So again,
I'm
is there a
confused.
line? Did they reach out to
Oh
you
yeah.
directly?
Yeah, that's
Well,
fine.
and that seems to be the issue. It seems like there is confusion all the way around, and it seems like that's what people are approaching Bree Full about, and she's trying to get down to the bottom of it. And I appreciate your take on it. And I feel personally clear on why that hasn't happened beyond just y'all don't want to feed the kids. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. But again, it seems like this is something that is ongoing, and there are more questions right now than answers.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. So there's a lot of time. Yeah. So yeah, it's 9 o'clock.
okay, obviously we got to continue the conversation. We'll have you on another time to continue that as well. Maybe we can even talk off show too, and try to get some things written down here so we can understand a little bit better. I appreciate you taking the time and letting us know what's going on in the conversations from your end, and everything that's happening. I know this is a tough situation all the way around, but again, we always go back to the fact that everybody wants the babies to eat and be okay and not slip through cracks and everything else. So we just are trying to figure out the how that needs to get done. And I'm quite sure with everybody who's involved that we'll get there at some point. And like I said, we'll continue the conversation. Brianna Fool will be on the show on Wednesday of next week, so we can continue a little bit more with her there as well. And I can't wait to see what kind of conversations were had between now and then, and see where we're at. And that's about all we're going to be able to handle with this one this morning. So we appreciate you, appreciate you coming on again. And anything you want to leave us with? I see a look on your face. Anything you want to leave? You want to tell me off about something real quick first? Let me know what's
Have Lacey out here getting mean.
you. We call your publicist.
We ain't gonna have Lacey out here getting mean, Paul.
Who? Getting me?
Getting you. I said you ain't gonna have Lacey out here getting me, Paul.
You know what happens when Lacey put that look on her face. I
Oh
can't even.
Lord, it's
I
time
just,
to go.
I just can't even when the look comes on the face. I just give up. I just give it to her. That's what it is.
Y'all need to do something with him, buddy.
I appreciate you guys. Again, Brianna Fool. Last thing, Brianna Fool's on the chat. Last thing she says, like I said, looking forward to actually seeing some action from the other board members. Anyone can have ideas.
What type of action?
It's about how we act upon them to make them a reality. I believe universal student lunch can be a reality in OPS. Okay.
That won't come from OPS though.
Okay. All right.
Jesus. Okay.
Okay. Obviously, we got to keep talking. So,
And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna keep on doing that. Keep on having sit downs, 1-on-1s, 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, whatever it takes. But I've always been about action, so I don't really understand that comment unless it's just something meant to inflame me a little bit. Which, if it was, it kind of worked a little bit. But I've always been about action and never anything but. And so I guess I will just leave with that.
yeah. Yes, you have. We appreciate you coming on. And
Lord have mercy.
okay, we're gonna let you go.
Yes.
Talk to you soon.
Yes. Y'all have a good day.
All right. Bye bye. All right. Well, you know the hard conversations, the tough conversations. That's what it's all about. So we're gonna continue to have it. It's not a one and done. It's always gonna be a ongoing thing until some resolution can be there. And you know, it helps to kind of focus on what the issue is and what we can do about the issue. It's always going to be something that's is going to inflame folks if we're going to talk about how somebody's doing something or the character behind how they're doing things. I think that's something to try to avoid, and we try to avoid that here on the show to set an example of that. Which is the reason why you know, I want to tell you too, Brother Pena Valadares. Got a lot to say here on this, and I'd like you to have some more concise comments here, and I also would like you to understand that there's some nuance here. It's not just find the money, feed the babies. It's obviously a little bit more complicated than that. And then we can get off of the rhetoric, then we can get into some solutions. So I appreciate it. Also, Bree Fool, appreciate you coming on the show this morning and giving your comments as well. And I look forward to speaking with you on Wednesday and to continue that. All of this is a learning process, and you know, I hope that you learn something just in the same way that we've learned something as well, which is the reason why we're doing this in the first place. We know Kimara very well. She's friend of Sky Omaha. Chad Chimer been doing a lot of stuff for us for a long time, and we know that she's all about action. So might want to look into that instead of thinking that she's not taking any action on anything. All I know of her is doing the research and taking the action. So might be something that's being missed there a little bit, and maybe we can continue to talk until we can figure that part out. But I appreciate y'all very much. So Christy Nora in the chat is here. Good morning to you. Saying y'all, Kimara loves the kids and she works hard. She would support this if it was plausible as written. Yes, obviously. I mean, like I said, we're learning some more details here. There's obviously some nuance there. There's a big point there that that a lot of big chunk of money got taken away federally. That's huge. That's some some more pieces of the puzzle here. I can understand why there might be some nuance, and I also have spoken to Kimara personally too about some of these things that have to happen. She don't like the babies having to fill out no applications either. Like there's, you know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things that they're trying to find some solutions to some things in the situation as is. And but I can also see Brianna Fool's point too about how to change the bigger picture. Like when I think about the bigger picture of this, I think of Michaela Cavanaugh pushing for some legislation to make it all free, and maybe we should get behind that part of it. And but in the meantime, we're gonna have to kind of jump through some hoops and do what we got to do because that's what it is. So, I'm kind of understanding it, and I can see getting behind both, trying to figure out a solution for now, trying to get behind a bigger, better solution for later. So as long as we kind of respect each other and understand that we all on the same page as far as what we want to happen here in this situation, then maybe we can get to that. So we hope that we've added to some of the communication and some more knowledge, some more nuance to this, and we obviously can't be done. it's got to continue on. So, like I said, the next iteration of this is us having a conversation with Brianna Full on Wednesday. Tune in there, and we can talk a little bit more, get some more context as well. And I'd love to see if what progress has been made from now until then with any kind of conversations that are happening. Bree left us a little bit earlier saying that she hopes everybody's holiday went well. I thought I saw that a little earlier, and I hope so too. Just okay. I'm seeing some more stuff here. We'll definitely get through. We'll definitely go through what's happening here. She's talking about reserves, 145 million just sitting in our reserves. That money isn't working for no kids sitting in the bank. Again, I'm kind of questioning like what that money is supposed to be earmarked for. If that's, because we heard there was also a shortfall when it came to OPS.
Right.
There's a few different things going on here with the budget. And having not looked at the budget ourselves, we're just kind of getting wind that there is some budget items that need to be considered. So again, definitely a deeper dive into the details than we may want. Emotionally, we want, let's just feed all the kids, find the money. That's the emotional side of that, and I get it. I fully get it, and I understand it. But I'm not seeing pushback from at least Kimara. Not seeing pushback on not feeding kids. So it's what I'm saying. Like I'm seeing that there might be some other things that have to be done and moves that have to be made, considering all the details and all the things that's going on with the situation. So we'll see about that.
Yeah,
there she goes right there saying, I'll try to bring more info about the budget next week. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. I think this just goes back to a larger conversation of the community. Like, just what role do people play? You know what I mean? Like, first of all, let's talk about the red tape and qualifications. You know what I mean?
I don't like that at all.
People have to apply. Like, what is the process? The school year starts. Parents get a bunch of documents, either from the students bringing them directly from home or stuff coming in the mail. They got to fill all this stuff out. Some people might fill it out. Some people might not fill it out for reasons that I stated earlier. I'm one of those parents. I'll be honest. I looked at these. I really don't want to tell these folk how much money I'm making, how much money I'm not making.
Right.
I really don't want these folk in my business. Period. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one feeling like that. Of course, you fill it out eventually, but some people won't, which means that I think we can all agree that there are some kids that are not necessarily qualifying for free or reduced lunch that aren't eating.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody is clear on why Bree Full is on the trip that she is, as far as trying to solve that problem or that issue, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's also very clear that we live in a red state that is wholeheartedly trying to undermine change. How if you're like, let's talk about the whole public school, private school voucher situation and how the people voted not to have it, and they're still trying to push it.
I mean, let's talk about the WIC stuff that the governor decided not to gap
the summer program, or SNAP. So let's not act like there are. Kimara's not the one not trying to feed our kids. There are people out there who
don't care.
And I just don't think as a community we should begin tearing each other apart.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, absolutely. We know about folks. I mean, there's always, in communication, there's always different levels of stuff that's going on. There's the level of what the issue is in the first place. Then there's the level of how it is that you think about a person that disagrees with your issue. Then there's the tendency to group people together and name call and put them in the box and so on and so forth. That makes further division. There's all kinds of things that are going on at the same time right now. And one of the things that we are always trying to do with this show and always show an example of is saying, let's eliminate a couple of these things. Let's give people the benefit of the doubt. Let's not put them in a box. Let's not call them out until we understand all the issues and all the facts. And even when we do and all that happens, we still can get to the point where we can still figure out where the common ground is, because ultimately speaking, we all want the same thing. That's just what it is. So we'll definitely talk about it as we continue on. Bree in the chat is saying the thing that upsets me the most from our meetings on Wednesday with board members and admin was their absolute refusal to acknowledge that kids aren't eating. According to them, all kids are eating. Okay. Yeah. I think I agree with you on that, Bree. I think that there's no way in the world that we can just safely say there ain't some kids falling through the cracks. I remember not eating school lunch because I didn't have it, didn't get it, and wasn't going to go around acting like I didn't have it. And so I just would rather not eat than even bring it up. So it probably wasn't the best decision I was making at 13, but that's what it was. So yes, there's absolutely people falling through the crack. Anytime you say that the families or anybody got to fill out an application, that means somebody falling through cracks because everybody going to fill out no applications. So yes, it would be easier and better and broader for it to be a situation where you could just come to school and get food. But it's not what it is at this moment in time. And there are people that have to acknowledge that and working with that. And that's what it is too. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I think, anytime that I'm feeling like somebody's trying to just oppose what it is that I'm doing, I have to remember they may be opposing the how I do it, even if they don't oppose why I'm doing it. We are on the same page about the why. We're trying to everybody's trying to make it so that all the kids eat. And yes, we might disagree on how that has to get done because some people have some information, other people have other information, and they're trying to work that out. So it's just a matter of continuing on the conversation. The most important thing for any of this is to continue the conversation. So as intelligent individuals, how is it that we can continue the conversation? What do we know will shut conversations down in the first place?
Well, I think kind of mudslinging and making those assumptions as like saying people aren't working will shut down the conversation really quickly. And while we are communicating, while we do have Bree Full here on the chat, I would kind of urge you to just keep moving forward. She says, I don't know how to move forward with them when they're working from their own sense of reality. And I would push back and say that that's all people can do is work from their perspective.
You're working in your own sense of reality.
Yeah, that's all people can do.
We all have our own sense of reality we're working from. The whole point is to try to keep the communication is there for us to bridge that
gap, right? To bridge that gap. So again, I will say that it's obvious that Bree Full, as a board member, as somebody who is a stakeholder, as somebody who has been elected by the people to do just this, to be a voice, to be to continue pushing. But understand that that's what people are doing. Other board members are also doing their jobs. Specifically, Kimara Snipes and Jane Erdenberger. I know personally, they too are doing their jobs, and anybody's working from their sense of reality. It seems like right now, what needs to be done is y'all all as a board need to figure out how to identify those who we all know have fallen in the cliff effect. I think we all know that there's people who necessarily don't qualify for free and reduced lunch that's not eating. I don't think that should be the topic of conversation. What needs to happen is, as a board, y'all need to figure out how to identify those people. And then
everybody can kind of go off in their directions after that. Like Kimara's action oriented. I've seen her come out of her pocket to pay for kids pay for food for kids in her library program. Right. So you let her know these kids are happening. She'll be calling them babies up because she goes into action that way. You go into action in the way of backing Michaela Cavanaugh. I'm with that. Like what you're talking about right now, we need legislation to go ahead and just fix the whole piece in the first place. You got some experience there. I would say you hit that lane. Like if we can hit all the lanes, then the babies can get taken care of now better than they are right this minute, and then we can move to change that later, which I think everybody would get behind. So anyway, like I hope that anything that we're talking about right now is contributing to that conversation, because really we're not sitting there in the board meetings, we're not sitting there in the budget meetings. We don't have to have all the information. All we're trying to really do is help facilitate the conversation, which is what this whole show and everything is all about. So let us know if we are doing that. If there is, I appreciate you saying, I hear that. Like if there's some, like our focus is the conversation. Nothing's, you guys got all the tools in the position to fix the things in where you're at. But if there's a lack of communication, especially between us and the Black community, if there's a lack of communication with us and our elected officials, if there's a lack of communication, this show is only here to help this communication issue. So if there's anything that that you're hearing from what we're trying to say, then take this away. The biggest takeaway: the conversation needs to continue. Please do all the things that helps conversations continue. Please stop doing the things that shut conversations down. Everybody. I'm not talking to you in particular, Bree. I'm just saying in general. In general, like especially if you're on a board together, like it only can work if you guys continue trying to find the bridges, trying to find the ways, the common ground, trying to find the understanding, and coming from this universal overall picture that everybody wants the kids to eat. That helps me. It takes when I hear stuff like Trump shut down WIC and Pillin didn't decide he wasn't gonna fill the gap and just let people flop around out here not eating. That's one thing. If I'm hearing we're trying to figure out some solutions to feed kids at school, one person got one way of doing it, the other person got a different way, they're trying to bridge the gap. That's a whole different kind of scenario right there. That's not we don't want the kids to eat. That's we don't agree on how we gonna feed them, but we all want the kids to eat. Yeah.
Which is
it's not. It is not easy to find at all, Miss Full. You're absolutely right. I mean, look at this.
You're in that position to do it. Like that does come with elected office and being on boards and dealing with other humans. That's part of the job. It is your job to find common ground with your other board members to get this done.
You on the same page. You got it. You said it right here. And I know it might seem like a messy conversation, but we need to continue to happen. That's all. We can. There it is. So, Black Dynamite RG. I know you're happy that we're in the third hour now of First Sky Omaha in the morning, but we're gonna stop it before that. Oh yeah, man, I stepped on your line. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
What happens after we leave? After we get past 9 o'clock, we rhythm off everything. It's all right. It's all good. No, appreciate it. Yeah, it was important enough to definitely talk about. Yeah.
It was because again, our hope on this platform is to create more clarity than confusion, and
man,
hopefully we're doing that.
Did that, yeah. But the conversation's not over. You're right. It's a messy one. We got to continue to make it happen. So again, we'll have you on Wednesday, and we can continue that conversation there as well. If anybody else has, as far as the ideas are concerned, to find the money and feed the babies, we don't need to keep saying that. That's what everybody wants. That. Yes, that's the case. Now we're trying to figure out the how. How does that happen? The solutions that I found right now in this show is me listening to Kimara and talk and understanding that there's some more details here, some more nuance here, some things that got to get figured out. I'm also listening to Beeee and hearing there's going to be people are going to be pushing for legislation on trying to make this universal. That makes sense to me too. I'm also hearing that the conversation needs to continue because there's a big gap in how babies are getting identified that need this lunch in the first place. So
listen, it's a community effort. It starts with finding out who's struggling, who are these people that are struggling.
Yeah.
And if we need to hook them up with pantries, if we need to raise money on this platform to feed some families for a month, everybody, we got 2,000 people on Friends Up. If everybody give $1 in a month, that's $2,000. How many people can we feed for a week, for a month? Just give them lunch. Like, first figure out who, which it sounds like is the issue. Like, people don't know who's falling in between those cracks. So let's identify those in the community and then rally.
That's the biggest issue. We don't even got to rally. I'm hearing that there's stuff in place at OPS right now that'll get them babies lunch. We just got to find out.
Exactly.
Just got to find out the who. Tim Clark, what's up, Tim Clark? He said top down is not working. It's time for bottom up approach. The people must rise.
There you go. There you go. Got to figure out who the people are. Again, the bottom starts with who at the bottom is struggling, and how can we help them?
Yeah,
there you go.
And let's look for some nuance in there too. It's not just who didn't eat lunch today. It's who didn't want to go and deal with their debt, or who was a little too prideful to go ask for some lunch, even though they was hungry. Like, let's look for some nuance there too, because again, like, and even when we do all that, we're not gonna find all the babies that's falling through the cracks. It just ain't the case. But I think that you got enough diligent people around in the board and hopefully in the administration, because I don't really know about who's in the administration on that tip, but hopefully there's a lot of people around doing that, and we see that. I got people in my family that are teachers, and they'll come out of their pocket to feed baby lunch if they see that baby needs it. So it really is like the nuance here is like, how do we identify the kids they're just being quiet about it or whatever the deal? Kids ain't running around screaming, "I'm hungry," and then, okay, well, did you get some lunch? Well, let's get you some lunch. That ain't how it's working.
Nope.
So anyway, yeah, we can go on and on, but let's go ahead and get out of here. We appreciate that very much. Donate button. Well, there's the join button on firstsky.omaha.com. Appreciate that. Yes, we are going to be putting some things in place in 2026 that equals some campaigns that we want to raise some money for that will make it easy to do that. So I appreciate that. And yeah, I think this 2026 is going to all about mutual aid, man. I'm really getting into this subject. So
good time.
I hope you guys had a great holiday. And I appreciate everybody who came in, who got up this morning to come through. I know that everybody's still kind of on vacation. And I also know there's some people out there working, but either way, I appreciate you guys coming through and joining us today. We will have the senators on Monday, Senator Cipher. We'll be able to talk to Senator McKinney about a few of these things that's happening, and also Senator Spivey and some of the efforts that she got going on with her other organizations as well. And yeah, there's a lot happening when we talk about mutual aid and we talk about people moving things in the lane of political power. This is happening on this level as well, and we will definitely talk to them about some of these issues too. Bring some more context in there. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Hey. Yeah, man. Just hopefully we did more good than bad. Cause more clarity than confusion today. And of course, these conversations will continue. And we'll be here to facilitate those conversations. We appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Big shout out to Sister Kimara for taking the time out of her busy schedule to come and speak with us and speak her piece, clarify some things. Again, make sure you tap in with One Omaha December 2nd, Giving Tuesday at the venue from 6 to 8. Again, neighborhood power night, giving, growing, and grounding together. So check it out. In the meantime, between time, man, y'all have a good weekend. Again, if you're participating in the blackout, or even if you're not, again, let us know. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. Drop that in Friends Up. Continue the conversation, reminding you that the conversation continues on Friends of First Sky Omaha. And also you can stay up to date with all the week's haps on the weekly wrap coming straight to your email. If you're not signed up for that, definitely check us out on firstsky.omaha.com. You can sign up there or, send us an email. Let us know you're interested. We'll tap you in. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Man, this way, man.
Appreciate you, man. Don't forget about Angeline Timeless is going to be tonight. If you want to celebrate Black Friday, celebrate Black Friday with Angeline Timeless at the Holland Music Club. Yeah, it's going down tonight at 7:00. Shout out to them. And I can't wait to speak to them. I want to speak to them about some of this pay-to-play stuff that's been going on here lately, and just their trajectory as a band. They're one of the hottest bands around here, man, and I'm sure that they're getting momentum in the region. And hopefully, to me, they should be a national band. They are out of control. They might be already. Like you never know with the music industry who's tapping in. So I highly suggest while you can see them in town, definitely hit them up for sure. And then let us know what your New Year's plans are as well. There's a couple things going on in New Year's, and we want to hear about them as well. So let us know. And then if there's anything happening this weekend that you're going to go to, you think is good, especially if it's a artistic thing, a Love Supreme thing, a music thing, anything that gives us a little bit mental break from a lot of the news and stuff like that, let us know. Put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha. We really appreciate when we get suggestions from you on those things as well. So, man, appreciate you guys, and appreciate everybody who's joining us and all your comments. Shout out to the Omaha Tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. Shout out to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you and allowing us to go past the agreed upon time that we were going to end today, so that we can not just cut off the nuance of the conversation, to continue the conversation. And like Buddy said, we hope that we did more good than cause any more confusion on any of these subjects here. So we didn't even really get to the point in the conversation where we always get to, where we say, what can we do? Yeah. Well, first thing, it's easy today. What we can do is try to identify some of these kids that are slipping through the cracks. I do believe it's impossible to hit everybody, and I do believe universal lunch seems like the only option as well. But unfortunately, that's not what exists right this moment. So right this moment, we got to figure out how to identify them babies, like Buddy's saying. So appreciate that very much. Yeah, I hear that. We're gonna do.
Yeah, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, just agreeing with Chrissy Norris. She says this is more of a system issue instead of board members issue. Let's fix the system, which I definitely agree. Bree Full, Kimara Snipes themselves can't just approve the budget by themselves. Again, this is a systemic situation. And again, as a community, the only thing we can do is identify who needs help and then find the help. That's what we can do. So let's do that and let the other wheels of democracy turn as they will.
There you go. Let me know if you're gonna hit the Noma over there, RG. Let me know if you're gonna hit that. Maybe I'll slide in. Appreciate you. Yeah, let us know anything that's going on this week that's gonna be fun to do. Music happening, whatever. Friends for Sky Omaha. Let it be known. This is Love Supreme Friday. Definitely look out for the weekly wrap that's gonna drop a little bit later on today too. Our newsletter. If you haven't signed up for the weekly wrap, I'll give you the link to do so right now. This is definitely going to be the thing that we continue on throughout the break that's coming, December 15th. December 15th is our break. We take off that month and we come back January 15th. But during that month, we'll also continue to bring you the weekly wrap. So we'll continue some of this conversation and some of the information dissemination that way. Sign up for that. The link is in the chat. And we appreciate everybody who's done this already, who's already on the list to get this. Give us some feedback on it. If you get the weekly wrap, we'd love to hear about it. And again, if not, then please go ahead and hit that link and sign up. With that, we're going to get out of here. Take care of yourselves this weekend. It is going to be cold. It is going to be icy and snowy this evening. So please check on your loved ones. Make sure the heat works. Make sure the animals' bowls water is inside, or whatever you guys do with the beasts of the field. I don't know what you guys do with them animals.
You try.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not an animal dude, but I don't want to see them out there froze and dead. So please take care of them. And I'll take care of your families, and we'll see you guys on Monday when we talk to Senator Terrell McKinney, Senator Ashley Spivey. Put some respect on their names, and put some respect on your names.
Hey.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.